Imagine growing up in two worlds. You know, on one side, parents working, and on another side, they hustling. It's like learning how to survive, but maintaining your struggle. I ain't never had a lot of shit growing up, but I seen a lot of things. It turned me to the man I am today. And even though it's a part of my definition, it doesn't define me. So I'm just trying to find my way. Yeah, pain on my head, no Tylenol. Been through hell and back, all kind of falls. Trapping all night, schools nodding off just to count a large amount of paper that was kind of small. Shaving crack, went to tight the ball. Though I'm hyperactive, no Adderall. Pain got me laughing at my situation's padded walls. Black suits for deceased in the latest recents. No answers for the questions on the way I'm eating. Parole violations for not making meetings. Get my money off the plate like the Reverend's deacons. I'm just trying to break my ties, be paraplegic. These words hurt my mouth like a baby teething. I was raised in the streets like a basic heathen. Even though I'm not around, never say I'm leaving. Pouring out my pain on the track, you can say we even.
It's crazy, man, I grew up on the low end, man. Mother, no pops, man. It's crazy, we struggle, man. I had little to nothing, man. My older sister got everything, man. My own grandmother even told me I wouldn't go be shit, you know? And here I am, here I stand, a man. Let's go.
So much to deal with, so much pain, I feel shit. Too much fame, just a little bit. Drop nigga insane for a clip. Kurt Cobain, real shit. So sniff that cane, kill Swift. Stay away from that game, little nigga. Gonna get you changed, little nigga.
So much loss, not enough gain. I can only hope to understand my pain. Hadn't seen my pops in years, and when I met him, he was actually chained. Mash, I was a big disdain. Friends laughing, tears and frame. But despite him to being in his right mind, that man still knew my name. Young brother, reversal rose. Crackers out of that cabinet. Made him place on grandma's stove. Had to do it before grandma woke. Cause she was trying to sympathize. When she saw him, she made him go. But uncle down in that basement, snorting up, getting laced it. But granny loved her sons, so I guess that's why she say shit. Raised by my old sister, where mom was staying them nights out. And she used to both get sniped out, with every pair of them mics out. But she wasn't the only child, so the rest of us felt left out for real.
Now I told y'all how it started. This is where the plot thickens. Imagine going under for a minute and 45, 47 seconds. Awakening to a hospital room full of doctors that told you weren't making it. I mean, my head was the size of a fucking pumpkin, but I made it. Yeah, sitting at a table, no dinner set, staring at my shadow in its silhouette. Somehow I feel short, no cigarette. Mentally disordered and it's killing cat. Curiosity connected like the internet. Staying on the path, no time for these stupid chicks. Trying to find a job, tell me that it's lucrative. Bringing in the money from my used to biz. A cheer reaching out, she communicating. Smiles from my child, that's the motivation. In and out the state, call it immigration. Niggas beat me dead, no explanations. Lot of doctor visits for the medication. Mind on my money, call it meditation. Are we doing what we saying? Give a demonstration. Monica Lewinsky, while she demonstrated. Essence of the stars, fill my heart, I'm in the constellations. Connect the dots if you concentrate. I'm sick, that's the vacillation. No contemplating, gotta turn this around. Turn the table.
Yo, 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 yo. What's good? What's good, people? What's going on? What's going on? Man, let me tell y'all something, man. Let me tell y'all something. I ain't gonna lie. I gotta tell y'all something. I really miss y'all, you know. I just recently moved to a new location. It's the same location as my recording studio to make it more easier and efficient for the music and stuff and things that I got going on outside of gaming. And I did the move. I was in hoodie. It was raining in Chicago. It was cold and stuff. And me and my son did the move by ourselves pretty much. And then after that, I got sick. I got really sick because I was sweating and stuff in the rain and cold. So that's what took us so long in terms of us getting back. But I'm back. I'm situated, still getting stuff together around a new place. But outside of that, we're back to giving y'all this great content. And let me tell you something, man. It's about to go down. It might be a long show today, man. It might be a long. There is so much to talk about. I know y'all see the headline with the Redfall and Starfield debacle. Y'all gonna get our opinion on that. Microsoft, Activision, and the CMA. Japan just approved the deal. The debacle with Hellblade 2, Final Fantasy 16. Y'all gonna get our perspective on Resident Evil 4. I know Noah been playing Resident Evil 4. I don't know if Mello played it. I don't know if Mello played it yet. I'm not a Resident Evil fan, so I'll let them give the perspective on that. But we definitely got a lot of things to talk about. And we got to call some people out, right? Because in terms of this Microsoft Activision acquisition, I was called everything but a child of God, right? You had people saying the deal was going to fail. You had people DMing and tagging Joe Biden, telling them to stop the deal. You had people tagging Lena Khan, the FTC. You had people out there tagging senators, Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren, telling them to stop the deal and all that. And all, man, we're finna get into it today. Who is that? You, Mello?
Yo.
Mute your mic.
Gotcha.
So we're going to talk about all that today on this show because I've been dragged through the mud in terms of me even just reporting on the Activision deal alone. I've been called names. I've been disrespected. I've been called all types of things just because I've been updating people on the situation. So we're going to get into it. My camera, y'all won't see me on camera today. I still haven't hooked the camera up. I'm waiting for additional cable and stuff to come in the mail so I can really get the system hooked up. But before we get started, Noah, you there? Noah's on his way from his mom. He just got through more on the line for his mother. Mello probably be jumping in and out, but it's neither here that we're gonna get started, man. And let me check before we get started. I just want to do what I do before every show, and that is give the people who shows up in the chat their due diligence and their respect for showing up and supporting the show. So before I do that, make sure you guys hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you can be notified each and every time that we go live. So let me look at the chat and see who we got in the chat. And I'm going to call you guys out, and then we're going to get this show popping because it's definitely going to be an entertaining show. HB was good, man. Was good. King Reaper 74G was good. Iron Mike, what's up? Witness the Truth was good. Who else we got in here? We got Lover God, which is somebody new. First time seeing that person in the chat. Shout out to you, man. Thanks for showing up and supporting the platform. Who else we got? TBCW Phenom. Gaming was good, brother. Good to see you. Trey Bones 408. We got Patman Jones. We got Enzo. We got MC. Right now, thank you all for showing up in the chat and participating. Hope y'all participate in the discussions that we're gonna have today. And to the people that's watching that haven't replied or did anything in the chat, just sitting back, chilling, listening, we do want to thank you too for supporting the platform as well. Blase, what's good? Good seeing you. Good seeing you, Blase. All right, hey Mello, you there? I'm trying. We might be having some technical difficulties, but man, I know Noah was on his way from his
What
mother's
up? Yeah, I'm here.
What's good, brother? How everything? Oscar, what's good?
King?
What's good with you, brother?
Hey man, I'm ready to smoke some ponies, bro. I'm
You
on
ready
that.
to,
We
oh,
on
you
that type
want,
of time.
you're saying you want all the smoke today, huh?
I'm on Obama phone, but we finna get busy.
Oh, you on the Obama.
We on the Obama phone, but we finna
Oh
get
man,
busy.
hey yo, they be posted everywhere outside of Walgreens, Jewels, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you know what? I didn't know they start charging for them things, right? So they got one that's free, right? And then they got two versions where one costs $60 and one costs $80, right? And the $80 is that the phone will be active for a lifetime. Like it'll never go off. I didn't know they started charging for the government phones. I guess Mello having technical difficulties. Shout out to who is that? David VGS was good. Always popping up, always showing up in the chat. Hey Trey Bone, I didn't know, man. They start charging for government phones and stuff. I didn't know. My lady say they had two of one was $60 and one was $80. You know, I'm like, wow. Noah, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm pulling up to the house. I'm about to transition over to the headphones and stuff, to the computer.
All right, for sure. All right, Noah just pulled up to the crib. He about to go in the crib and get situated, transfer over to the computer because he got a lot of smoke today too as well. I got a lot of smoke today. I'm gonna be calling a lot of people out. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people that told me I didn't know what I was talking about. They called me stupid. They called me dumb. They called me armchair lawyers and all types of this and that and this and that. And here we are. Right. Well, now I'm not celebrating a victory yet because there's still things that need to get done in terms of the acquisitions. There's still hurdles to overcome. But in terms of where we was at a couple of months ago to where we're at now, where Microsoft is right now, they have made huge, giant steps and leaps. And I can't wait till this all over. You know what I'm saying? I can't wait till it's all over. Who else we got in the chat? We got Six Slayer was good. Blase. Sarah Bond teasing Lord of the Rings. I saw that. I couldn't get everything in the headline, Blase, but we definitely going to talk about way more than what's in the headlines because there's so much gaming news right now. You got Bobby Cody that came out and reiterated what Lulu said about what Jim Ryan, the comments that Jim Ryan made about not being concerned about a COD agreement, but wanting to just block the deal. You got a lot of people that's not showing up to E3. So much stuff. So we're gonna try to get to it all. We might not be able to cover everything, but we're gonna try to cover as much as possible. Also that Final Fantasy 16 news that Noah tweeted out today, which I think it was a comment that he made a while back, and I was wondering, it's my first time hearing about it. Why hasn't this been talked about? You know, why hasn't this been talked about? Why has it been swept under the rug? You know, you got articles out here now. Is Sony the next TikTok? You got senators out here that's pressing Japan to investigate the anti-competitiveness of Sony in Japan. We're going to get into that. The Fallout TV show is finished. What's that going to look like? So we're gonna try to get into it all and get into as much as possible, man. So just stay with us. We finna do what we do every show, and we just finna entertain each other in conversation. And whether we agree with each other or disagree with each other, as long as we can obtain or learn something from the conversation, that's the only thing that matters. Okay. All right. So I'm trying to wait till the guys get here. Noah should be getting in the crib. Mello should be coming back. And then we definitely gonna get the show started. But like I said, definitely hit the like button. We got 48 people on YouTube right now that's watching. Let me see here on Twitter. I don't know how many we got on Twitter. On Twitter, we got one viewer. We got one viewer on Twitter. But this is our first time kind of multi-streaming to different platforms. So it's definitely okay. Kingfish was good. 737. I will agree on this post up. Keep us updated on the latest game. Yeah, definitely, man. It definitely. Let me see here. Give me just a second here. Let me check what this said. Ready. Okay, so he here. Okay. Are you there, Mello?
I bet it up. Yeah.
Okay.
I hate the phone, bro. This is not working for me.
It sounds like a government phone, brother. It sounds like government. You can hear everything in the background.
It's bad.
It sounds like an Obama phone, bro.
Hold on, let me go into the other room. I'm gonna mute myself. Hold on.
Lil V, what's good, Lil V? Which is a new person I'm seeing in the chat. Thank you for showing up. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe and support the channel. Mello was getting situated. Mello Noah just pulled up to the crib. He about to switch to his computer. So I'm just waiting till they get situated so we can get the show started. It's definitely going to be an entertaining show. We're definitely about to clown. We're about to clown. I think it's that we're at that point where we can start clowning people in terms of the things and statements and comments they've been making on Twitter. I got screenshots.
Italian beef and Pepsi.
I got everything.
I'm snitching, dude. You hear
Carlos, what's good, brother? What's good, man? Mello, what you been playing lately?
Man, what have I been playing? I finished Wulong. I'm having a hard time with Atomic Heart. And we about to get in MLB 23.
Okay, so you finished Wolong.
Yeah, Wolong is done.
But you having a hard time with Atomic Heart?
I'm having a hard time, brother.
Wow, how's that? So you saying Atomic Heart is way more difficult than Wolong? Is it Kingfish? I haven't downloaded it yet. I know they did the Negro League. I know they put the Negro League in MLB 23, which I think was a great idea.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to check out. Yeah, I wanted to check that out.
Yeah, which I thought was which I think was a great idea because I think even amongst our culture, in terms of that league, I can say myself, I'm not educated in the Negro League.
Exactly.
In terms of the impact they had on the sport, the different players in the sport. And I heard that MLB 23 does a great job in terms of the introduction of that and kind of pulling people in terms of learning about that because, you know, I'm kind of oblivious to that whole league, even though I know they had major impact on Major League Baseball.
Exactly. I'm in the same boat. So unfortunately, I messed up because I got banned. So FYI, my YouTube got banned because
how you get banned on YouTube?
I was trying to do some stuff and they caught me. They said, "Hey, boy," you said you talking too much sauce. We gonna give you this little strike. You gonna have to sit down for 7 days. So, I think it lifts tomorrow or Thursday. So bro. I talked about that Ninja Turtle mess on the last State of Gaming, and right when I said it, everybody said, "Oh no, they ain't gonna do that. That's crazy, man." We got a game with this comic book. I'm like, I know what I'm talking about here, but I'm ready to drop this Italian beef and Pepsi because I'm calling out everybody, Mister. They gonna make 14 billion in 7 days. I'm on your tail feather, brother. I'm on your tail.
Oh yeah. Even and Naughty Dog just came out and made a statement about the future of their studio in their games, and they came out in PlayStation and PC. PlayStation and PC. It sounds like day and day to me.
Talking about the people that was talking about welfare gaming.
Yeah.
Oh boy. What Chris said. We on
shout out to Carlos with the $2. Post Square doesn't support people of well, we're gonna get into that. Because it's a history there that goes beyond just gaming. Okay, it's a history there that goes beyond just gaming. But we're going to talk about that. You all going to get our perspective on that And then we're going to get y'all perspective in the chat so y'all can join in on the conversation as well. I think that's a serious topic. I think that should have been talked about the minute that comment or that statement was made. But sometimes, well, more than often, when it comes to the people of color and things like that, usually things like that get swept under the rug. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It gets swept under the rug. And so we're definitely going to talk about that, because I had people jump in my comment section on Twitter saying that no other race is complaining. Why are you complaining? Well, look what they just did to Holly Bailey after she was announced as Ariel for Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Look how many people was concerned about a young black woman playing the role of a character that they say is white.
Yeah, they did a certain color. Yep.
Look how they dragged her through the mud.
Mm-hmm.
Look how they dragged her through the mud. So don't come in my comment section telling me that I shouldn't have anything to say, because no, that's you. And matter of fact, get on my comment section, because I don't rock with people like you.
Man.
How many times this year or even last year that black actors got backlash for playing roles that other people thought
was deemed another ethnicity? Yep.
Yeah. More so a white role.
Mm-hmm. I only highlight that one because it's been multiple incidents of that, and I don't know if we want to go down that road. But hey,
we're definitely going to talk about it,
brother.
We're definitely going to talk about it, and I know it's a sensitive subject. I know it's a sensitive subject.
Where we're going.
I know it's a sensitive subject, but I will say this though: we have to have these conversations, regardless if we agree or disagree. We have to be able to have these hard conversations. Okay,
this is one of the reasons why I got banned on YouTube, so we can roll if you want.
Yeah, we're gonna roll. We're gonna roll, and I'm gonna be as honest as possible, and when discussing this, because we have to learn to have these hard discussions, these hard conversations about topics like this, because we're gonna get there. Noah, what's up? You there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What's good, brother? How was that line, brother? You sound good, bro. How was mowing that line, brother? Did you mow the line? Did you mow the line, brother?
My mom has a riding lawnmower.
You ain't have to stand up and push that thing. You was riding around, huh?
Well, you gotta push to get the corners, though. You know, where the grass grow, you can't get with the rider. I had to do that a little bit, but I still got smothered with grass, dude.
Yeah, no problem, man. What you been playing lately?
Resident Evil 4.
Okay, we definitely going to talk about that. I want to get your perspective on that. What? Oh shit, my mic cable went all the way in. I'm wondering why I was going in and out. All right, we're gonna get y'all perspective on that. So we're about to get the show started, man. I want to thank everybody in the chat for joining the show and continue to support the platform. We really appreciate it. We might have a long show today because it's so much to get to. A lot of the topics I couldn't even put in the headline, but that's neither here nor there. So what do y'all want to start off first? You got the Redfall and Starfield thing that's being talked about over the last couple of weeks. We know we got the Microsoft Activision, the changes with the CMA. Japan approved it today as well. The Hellblade 2 showing and how they got people when they feelings. Final Fantasy 16, which Noah brought to our attention today.
Lord,
we got Resident Evil 4 and their perspective on that. You got a lot of publishers not showing up to E3. I mean, I can keep going on with topics and stuff.
Crazy.
You got Congress that's on Sony heels right now in terms of their anti-competitive tactics and paying developers and publishers to keep that game off Xbox, man. What y'all want to tackle first?
So much to talk about.
Get the Resident Evil BS out the way so we can get serious.
We'll start off with Resident Evil 4. Once again, that's not my cup of tea. So I'm gonna let our resident RE player, Mr. Noah himself, give his perspective on how far he's in the game, what he played so far. I know it's been issues about the controller issue. Have you dealt with that issue? What's going on with Resident Evil 4, Noah?
Let me start off with the controller issue. It's real, but it's not as bad as you can get used to it. I mean, it's a legitimate concern.
Okay,
but it's not game breaking. There is it is hard to land headshots, right? Because of the latency and the dead zone.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a certain when you get to the merchant, he has like the shooting target, the target range. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And the shooting practice it's kind of hard to hit some of the targets because of the latency. So there is some frustration there, but just simply enjoying the campaign, you can overlook the issues with the control.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as far as the gameplay, outside the issue with the control, the gameplay is fire. If you're a fan of Resident Evil and Resident Evil 4 specifically, you're gonna love this remake. And unlike the PlayStation remakes that Sony been throwing out lately, this game has been remade from the ground up. So it's not like you're not playing the exact same game you played back in 2005 when this game released on the GameCube.
So it's like it's more than just a real build giving you the same thing you had from the initial launch. It's like, okay, we're gonna not just only remake it, but we're gonna make it better and we're gonna add new things.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, the cutscenes are completely different. The stage layouts, there's some familiar places, but it's not exactly the same. It I don't want to say it feels like a completely different game, but it's not a 1-to-1 ratio like the Last of Us remake was. I mean, that, in my opinion, that was a cash grab. It felt like I was playing the PS3 version with just settings cut up to ultra. That's what the PS5 version felt like. But this is completely different. This is worth the money.
Okay.
If you're on the fence and getting
it. As you guys look at the screen, this is Noah gameplay. He's running this on the Series X. The Series X. So how far are you in the game?
I made it to the castle.
Mm-hmm.
If you played the original game where you run into the little dude, I guess he's like the Duke of the village.
Mm-hmm.
The little guy. I made it to. I guess I'm about to fight him.
Somebody get this boy Noah some aim. Somebody that boy was
bro missed the whole headshot.
You missed the whole headshot, brother.
Like if I 2 feet away from
let me tell you something. If I know you was gonna have bad aim like this, I wouldn't even put your gameplay up on the screen and do you like this, but you was
that ain't the ghosting in the game on that one, bro. That was just all control.
You was up close. How could you be that close in this?
Didn't I just say the game had the controller had high latency?
No, don't you wear glasses?
Oh, you also said it wasn't that. You also said it wasn't that bad too, but we ain't gonna hold it.
I was like, don't you wear glasses?
You gonna miss some shots, bro. You gonna miss some shots.
Look, we won't hold
not
it
2
against
feet
you, brother.
away, nigga.
Yes, you are, bro. The latency is.
We won't hold it against you, brother.
But you do adjust to it though. Like now, I can land on pretty.
Hey, TB, you hear my brother? He say it ain't game breaking. You get used to it. Oh no, you missed it. Well, shouldn't I just tell y'all about the controller? Yo, this brother. But so far, I know because I've seen a lot of people on Twitter speak highly about this game in terms of even crowning it a game of the year contender. So far, in terms of what you played. Are your sentiments the same? Are we dealing with a game of the year contender?
Yes, we are.
Okay. All right. Okay.
But I'm a little biased though. You know, I'm a Resident Evil fanatic.
Yeah, that's that. I was gonna bring that up. I was gonna bring that up because you play all the Resident Evils and you say all of them is just top tier, similar to Vaughn. You and Vaughn is just Resident Evil crazy. So yeah, but yeah, all right. We're gonna move along. We're gonna get this terrible gameplay off the screen. I don't want to keep putting
out
there with him missing all these shots.
Not gonna sit here They ridicule my gameplay, knowing the game got high latency, and I'm adjusting to. This is the very beginning of the game. Now I'm adjusting.
But you said if you get used to it and it ain't game breaking, but then we
we
criticize the
5
shooting.
minutes into the game. You should see me now, though, bro. Hey, I be busting heads now. Hey, look.
But I would say this though. I don't do Resident Evil. I never. I got to be honest. And that's why I waited on either you because I know Mello is into it too, and I was asking him, did he play? I don't think he played it yet. That's why I wanted you all to get y'all perspective because I didn't want to speak on the game that I'm not really into and that I don't play. I just never got with Resident Evil, but to each his own. I know a lot of people like it. It's just something that wasn't for me.
No, I rock with Resident Evil. It's just I'm not paying $70 for this, man. I'm sorry. The story the same. I'm cool. I'm straight. I ain't paying 70 for
it. Hey, other thing. Look, man. Look, I'm not saying this game of the year. I'm just saying.
Yeah, they bugging on that one.
I'm just saying that people, all the people that I've seen that spoke highly of it on Twitter, even on YouTube, and things like that, have said, it's a game of the year contender. Now, can a remake win game of the year? Who knows? Has a remake ever won game of the year? I don't know, but we'll see. I think this year
there's too much fire stuff coming out for this game to win game of the year. They better stop it.
Yeah, I think this year is going to be packed full of a crazy amount of games. So we'll see, man.
My thing is, the game. The name of the game has the word evil in it. Mello.
You said what? What was that?
It got Resident Evil, EVIL. You don't do Hades and Diablo.
So you gonna try to take that little jab at me?
Hey, brother. I had to make a YouTube short off that, brother. The brother we ain't gonna need to put you like that. So we gonna move along, man. We knocked out Resident Evil 4. We got that out of the way. What you guys want to move on to next? Y'all want to knock out the Redfall and Starfield shit before we kind of get into the meat of stuff with the Activision and stuff and
what the hell happened with Starfield? I mean Redfall. I'm sorry.
Well, I will say this, and I want to point out. I just want to point out the hypocrisy that's been going. One of the developers for Redfall came out and stated that there was a version of a PS5 version of Redfall.
I thought that wasn't true. Okay,
that they was planning. They was pretty much planning a PS5 version of Redfall, and of course, from Bethesda perspective, being that you're third party, and at that point, all you was doing was making multi-platform games. Of course, a PS5 version would have been in the planning.
Skip that post. It ain't coming over there, bitch.
I just want to say this. I just want to say this because the PlayStation fans seem to be really for the last couple of weeks, they really threw a hissy fit about a game that said they didn't want to play. About a game that they call trash, right?
Real life Karen, gaming Karen.
I will say this: when the acquisition of Bethesda was first announced, the general consensus, and I will say the PlayStation community on Twitter, I won't blame the whole PlayStation community. I will say the echo chamber on Twitter was that nobody cares about Bethesda games. One. Two, they call them Bugthesda.
They Bugthesda.
Right? Number three, they said Bethesda haven't put out a game in the last 5 of 10 years.
Since Fallout 4.
Right? They pretty much slandered Bethesda. Said who wants to play those games that's built on the old engine? Right? Man, they was bringing everything out of the books, right? Right. And now, since Starfield and Redfall has officially been announced, right?
IEJ Dub.
They've been crying about Microsoft taking those 2 games. they've been pretty much crying about Microsoft taking those two games away from PlayStation, right? Even though when Starfield was announced, it wasn't announced for any platform or any specific platform, right?
Mm-hmm.
We didn't really know about Redfall. The only reason why we knew about Redfall is because all the stuff that's going on with the acquisitions.
Absolutely.
My thing is, Post Mellow, where's that same energy for Final Fantasy VII Remake?
Hey,
Exactly.
When it first got announced, it was a
Supposed to be a
1 year
one-year
console
1 year time exclusive. And we ain't heard none from Square Enix about why that hasn't been on Xbox yet.
man.
Nothing.
It's in them.
Right?
It's in them documents.
Right.
I bet you I know who got it though.
Yeah. And look, I will say this
FTC,
too. I will say
CMA.
this too, right? Redfall was never officially announced, right?
At all.
So you can't take something away from a platform that it wasn't announced for, right?
You complain about some shit that was probably on a board
Yeah.
that said we're gonna do multi-plat.
And I don't blame.
No idea
Phil.
where the game was going, what direction, or nothing.
I don't blame Phil for coming in and saying, "Look,
That's over with. It's a wrap.
you guys are under Microsoft now. Anything outside of what we represent, squash it."
Whatever have not been announced publicly,
Yeah.
do not put no information out on it. It's a wrap.
It's a wrap. It's pretty much a wrap.
PC and Xbox.
You come in, you say, look, anything that's legacy, that we're going to continue to support that on whatever platforms they use. But if anything that's new, that's unannounced, that the public don't know about, it's Xbox, PC, and Game Pass from here on out. I don't blame him from doing that. And the thing that get me upset is how the media reports on this stuff. Because no one questions Sony about exclusivity, how long or when is nobody go when Sony announced exclusive. None of the media go and ask Sony, well, when is that game coming to play to Xbox?
Man.
None of them. None of them reach out to Sony. Nobody reached out. None of the media reached out to Square Enix about Final Fantasy Remake not showing up on the Xbox, even though it's supposed to be a 1 year. None of them did, right?
To this day.
This is true.
None of them did. But if you go back to the Tomb Raider debacle, right? And the media got upset because Microsoft made Tomb Raider exclusive. You see how they pressed Microsoft and Square Enix to give up the time exclusive in terms of how long it was going to be exclusive? You see how they got pressed?
Yeah, every interview.
And that was
Jeff Keighley.
Did Jeff Keighley do okay? What we really want to know, when is it coming to PlayStation?
PlayStation, yep.
It wasn't in around E3 or the award show or something. It
was right after it was announced.
No one never does that to PlayStation. And even still, after Final Fantasy Remake was supposed to have a 1 year time exclusive because it was in the fine print. Have you seen any articles on why Final Fantasy Remake hasn't shown up on Xbox yet? From any media outlet, right? Then you go look at Stellar Blade, right? And this is the difference. This is why I want to compare and contrast the two, right? Starfield was announced. Its official announcement didn't show any platform, no PC, Xbox, or PlayStation, right? And that's the way you want to announce something, because we know from the time that a game is announced until the time that game is released, that anything can go on in between that process, right? So you can have contractual agreements that's drawn up that can now make that game exclusive to a particular platform. So when you announce it without a platform, you don't set any expectations to the gaming community. And then the next time that game is shown, if it comes up and says PlayStation exclusive or Xbox exclusive, then you know from between the time that game was announced to when you saw that next trailer that either Microsoft or Sony negotiated a contract to get that content exclusive to their preferred platform. Then also you set proper expectations to that community that, hey, you're going to get this game exclusive. You know who didn't do that? Stellar Blade. Stellar Blade came out. I know people gonna say, well, the game wouldn't exist because they need money. Well, the game came out and they said, look, it's coming to Xbox, PC, War Out the Band 1. They set expectations. They set expectations to the PlayStation community, to the Xbox community, and to the PC community. They set those expectations. And then the next time it was shown, those expectations went out the window because the next time it was shown as a PS5 exclusive. Okay, that's taking a game away from a platform that you initially set expectations on that it was coming to, right? Starfield or Redfall never set any public expectations in terms of what platform they was going to come out on, right? The next time we saw Starfield, if you look at the official announcement trailer, like I said, no platform, no PlayStation, Xbox, or PC, or none of that, right? The next time we saw anything on Starfield, it told us Xbox Series X and S and PC. That was it. Then they set expectations, right? So you can't take anything from a platform that a game hasn't been announced for. And though it might have been in production or they might have plans to create that game for PlayStation, as I said before, things change. Anything can happen between when the game is announced or not even unannounced. It could happen behind the scenes. You can have games that are created for a particular, that's been created for a particular platform that we don't know nothing about, that becomes exclusive behind the scene before we even know the game exists. So I just felt it was hypocritical of a community of PlayStation gamers who pride themselves on celebrating the fact that Sony walls off content from their competitors, right? Sony walls off content, right? And you have a community that embraces that expects that celebrates that, and that same community is crying about another platform doing the same. Like, make it make sense, Noah?
That's just what they do, bro. Sad to say, but this is what they do.
It doesn't make sense. Sony built a legacy of walling off content, pretty much walling off content, right? And that community loved it. That's why they chose. They tell you all the time, I chose PlayStation because of their exclusives.
We're not even just talking about like IPs they created. They got Marvel IPs exclusive, Spider-Man, Wolverines.
Yeah. It really don't make any sense, and I just felt it was real hypocritical of them to come out and whine over a game that they trashed. They trashed Redfall before they even saw anything about Redfall. They said it was going to be terrible. They said it was going to be that in Starfield was going to be built on a 20-year-old engine that's buggy as ever. And why would we want to play something like that? All the negative energy. And now y'all crying.
Nah. Fuck all that. I clearly, big money, little pockets, big money, little
big
pockets.
money, little pockets. That's his
big
new name.
money, little pockets. Clearly told me Redfall is a terrible game. I would not release it because it's buggy and it's trash. J-Dub with the crusty feet clearly said Xbox cannot produce any games and Redfall will fail. Yeah. And he was the first person I seen on Twitter crying, talk about CC Phil lied again. It supposed to came over there to PlayStation with his bottom lip hanging out. Stop these little gaming Karens running around here, and y'all see when Microsoft announced something, y'all want to get in the flare about it, and it's confusing because the same two people that's complaining about this mess own the Xbox.
Yeah,
it's behind me.
And I want to say this though. before we continue, console war aside, and all that stuff. On a serious matter, Kratos J Dub is my homie. He's my brother. I know we have a difference of opinion in terms of when it comes to gaming, but I really need y'all to send y'all prayers. I really need y'all to send y'all prayers to my brother, man. I don't want to put his business out there. I think he will when he comes back onto social media. He'll probably speak to everybody that rock with him. But I just need y'all to send prayers and love his way, man, because bro dealing with a serious family issue right now, and he need all the love and prayer and stuff he can get, man.
Oh shit! Oh dang!
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No, you good. You good. You good.
I'm about to say,
You
yeah,
good.
definitely
You good.
y'all prayers to him, and hope everything that's going on, it definitely
Yeah.
goes in his favor.
Yeah.
But you a fanboy ass nigga,
Yeah,
and I
he is a
got you,
fan.
nigga.
Yeah,
I
he'll
got
be
you.
laughing right now. He'll be laughing
I
right.
can't
He
wait.
needs some laughter right now. He needs some laughter right now,
I
man.
got you. I was gonna jump on. I was gonna pay Z to let me get on his show for $20 just to talk my shit, boy.
Yeah.
I was ready. Cause
Yeah.
boy, all this mess they've been talking, Game Pass ain't gonna grow. Man, hey man, I'm ready for war. I'm ready for it
We're
now.
gonna get into that because that's the next thing we're gonna get into. But I just wanted to touch on the Redfall and the Starfield issue, man, because the hypocrisy is real. You have a fan base crying about another fan base having access to exclusive content, and that same fan base used to make fun of that fan base for not having exclusives. And man, it's just crazy. It's really crazy. And then you trash Redfall, but then the previews come out for Redfall and show that it's going to be a great and maybe fun game. And so all of them narratives get debunked. So from this, I want to roll right into Game Pass. I know y'all don't see it in the title. Microsoft just ended the $1 promotion for Game Pass. And this is another point that I want to talk about. And it's crazy because you had people calling it the EBT of gaming, right?
Man,
You have people call it the dollar junction of gaming, right? You had fanboys saying that only poor people pay for Game Pass. Yes, only poor people pay for. I've been told that multiple times.
we had a pony in here saying it in our chat multiple times, Chris.
That only poor people. If you on Game Pass, you're pretty much poor, right? You can't afford $70 games and all of this, right? Right. And the minute they take that $1 promotion away, the same people who were saying those things are now pissed that Microsoft is taking it away, saying, look, this is an increase on game. Wait a minute, hold on. Okay, so they stopped for the last 5 or 6 years, they lowered the barrier of entry to $1, right? With that lower barrier, they allow you to, if you came over from gold, right? You stacked your gold, right? Then you use that $1 promotion to convert whatever you stack from gold over to Game Pass Ultimate, which, depending on how much you stack, which could set you up for the next 2 or 3 years or more, right? That allows you to do that for the last 5 or 6 years. And I still think they allow you to stack, right? So you clown them for putting Game Pass, the $1 promotion on Oreos and all this. You call it EBT welfare gaming. You say it's only for broke and poor people. Then when they take it away, you're complaining and say that it's a bad thing that they're taking it away after you say it was a bad thing for having it, right? I mean, what is going on?
Ain't no sense, bro.
Yeah, you can't. Go ahead.
Go ahead. You can't.
Melo's gonna say this. You can't make sense of it, post, because these guys change the narrative every day. It don't matter. Xbox is wrong. It don't matter what Xbox do.
Mhm.
Xbox ain't got no exclusives. Xbox trying to lock down exclusives. Xbox won't let me play my games on my PlayStation. Bro, Xbox don't let their devs do what they want to do. No creative freedom. Xbox devs, Xbox need to tighten the reins on their devs and give them direction. Bro, there's
Mhm.
no winning, bro. It's always a narrative. It's always a narrative.
And,
Microsoft just need to do what they do. Fuck what these fanboys talk about. Because they the loudest.
well, could somebody explain to me what they mean about um after they removed the $1 promotion that Microsoft increased the price to Game Pass? Uh, could somebody please tell me what they mean by? Because as far as I know, that regular Game Pass has always been $10 a month, and then Game Pass Ultimate has always been $15 a month. I mean, you could come in with the $1 promotion, but after that month, depending on which one you subscribe to, thank you, baby. Okay, depending on which one you subscribe to, right? You either gonna roll over to $10 a month or $15 a month. So where are people getting that Game Pack costs $25 a month? And am I the only one? Like, what's going on? When did Game
Yeah,
Pass get?
you the only one, cause these fools done lost their ever loving mind. I'm trying not to cuss, cause I'm at work, but you niggas are the reason why gaming is going where it's going, because y'all bash this thing, and this is what we kept telling y'all. PR team picking very well with these companies, and when you're on social media, me and you post, we said this on the internet. I mean, on the show with Z and them, we said negative.
You going in and out, Mello. All right, while Mello get his audio situated because he at work and he on the Obama phone, I'm gonna get
Hello,
this super
can y'all
chat.
hear me?
Yeah, Back City Entertainment with the
Dang.
$2. These bum ass ponies ain't shit. It's a rap. RD and A3. Laugh out loud. Yeah, you went out, Mello. Go ahead and finish
Dang.
your comment, brother.
But no, story short, what we was talking about this on Z show, and we kept telling them negative publicity and bad publicity is always publicity, regardless of what it is. PR looked at that negative. Y'all been parading around here, calling this dollar thing a negative everywhere. I can just get on the Xbox for $1 and I'm good to go and play all their games for a month and leave. Y'all done said all that mess. Once again, big money with little pockets told me,
Hey.
oh, it ain't gonna reach nothing because you ain't selling to, you only giving them the entry $1. And I said, fool, it's just like when you're on the street or you're selling the product and it ain't gotta be drugs. You allow the person a moment of entry like Netflix at $4.99. Once you get the people up to a certain point, guess what? You roll in more content, you increase the price. End of story.
Well,
Ain't nothing. It ain't nothing else to say about it. Period. Sorry for you if you didn't like it. Hopefully you're packed up and you got enough memberships in line for 6-7 years. But we finna increase this, and on top of that, we finna bring in this family plan. We're not gonna bring in a
well,
family plan with $1 promotion going on. You're dumb.
well. This is another thing too, because if you've been following the merger and stuff like that, Microsoft had already told regulators that they're not going to increase the price of Game Pass. I think where we're going to get where the price is going to come in at is what they're going to charge in the United States for the Family Pass, right? We know
Exactly.
in other countries it's been like 21 something, and we're assuming that in the United States is going to be $25. But $25, you can literally support up to 5 accounts. 6, if you really look at it, you can support up to 5 accounts, and you can still gain the share with one additional account. So that's 6 accounts for $25. Pretty much like $5 an account, and then you get a bonus by them still allowing you to game share with an additional account. And I don't think that's that's
the
bad.
family. That's the family
Yeah,
price,
that's
25.
That's the rumor.
That's what we think it's going to be, because
Yeah.
it's 21 and it's 21 in other countries, and it would be equivalent to $25 here in the United States. And if it does come out at $25, then I think that is a heck of a price on the fact that
the massive amount of content you're getting.
And not only that, though, if you got a group of friends, right, whether you're on Twitch, whether even a group of buddies that you game with every day that's in different states, the fact that Microsoft is not locking the family pass to your house, where you can add anybody anywhere in the United States just as long as you have the email, I think this is going to be beneficial to a lot of people, and I think it's going to bring more people into the service, because all you got to do is say, okay, hey, it's 5 of us, we game every day, we wore up the BAM, let's all get on this family pass, so we can guarantee our content. And $5 from each person ain't nothing, and then you still allowed to game share. So you're literally they still give you the benefits of game sharing, right? They still, even though the dollar promotion ain't there, they still allow you to stack your gold and convert that over to Game Pass, right? I don't see the issue. Another thing is that Sony came out and stopped their community from being able to stack, and nobody said anything. They didn't get no pushback or anything. But y'all sitting up here complaining about Microsoft dropping a $1 promotion that they had for the last 5 or 6 years. You're so quick to find the negativity in that, and you didn't question or find any negativity in the fact that Sony stopped and prevented y'all from stacking y'all subscriptions before converting it over to their new service. They stopped y'all. Microsoft still allows it. What are we doing here? What's going on?
I that's what I don't get, bro. It's so much stuff going on PlayStation, and they just turn a blind eye to it. But every time
a blind eye, bro. They man, bro. What's that movie? What's the name? Was it? She had the blindfold on. I forgot the name of that. I think it came on Netflix, bro. Man, I'm you know, they had to cover their ass, or if not.
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about.
You talking about Bird Box. I think it's called Bird Box.
Yeah, man, you got a bunch of
But Post, I want to thank them. Yeah. Because all of y'all conversations and all of y'all negativity has woken a beast.
And you know what?
Mess with a person with long pockets that can literally go out here and do what they need to do to get back on in shape.
You know what?
I love it.
Phil made it evidently clear that he sees a lot more than what people. He sees the conversations and the narratives and stuff that he sees everything on Twitter and social media, bro. He see it all. Right? And so now this for the roll us into what y'all want to do next? Y'all want to do
real quick though on that just one little part extra, because I've been reading and looking at some stuff. You know, I be getting down. The Restricted Act. It's perfect timing on how they actually doing this right now when it comes to the Microsoft and this plan, because of this act that the government is trying to pass called the Restricted Act, which is a violation of privacy in my opinion, but I ain't gonna dig deep into it. But it does have something to do with VPNs.
Say less. I already know about that. I already know that, and they probably trying to get a hold on that too. And Mello went out, but we're gonna keep going while he get his audio together. Mello is big money. If you ever watch Z Show, I'm
on my Big Money.
And you ever hear Big Money talk on Z Show and how his mic goes in and out every time he about to say something, you'll understand what Mello is going through right now. Mac City Entertainment with the $2. Stay doing God's work on Twitter. Post up, left, highlight. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I got to keep people informed, man. I know a lot of people would been giving me flap time about Mr. Copy and Paste and stuff like that. Whatever you want to call me, brother. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I really don't care. All I do is no different than what some of the other guys on Twitter did. It's just gather information and put it in one spot for people
that the truth hurts.
For people to consume. Now, where it comes from and stuff like that, you can question whatever. But I make it easily accessible for people who don't want to go on a forum and sift through hundreds and hundreds of pages of information trying to find the information. You got to think that the Microsoft Activision Blizzard OT on Reset Era has been viewed over 3.8 million times. So it's about to be hit 4 million. They have over 38,000 replies in that thread. It's 762 pages. They're damn near at 1,000 pages, and they damn near at over 40,000 replies. I'm just making it easier for people. I go in the thread because I pretty much been in that thread since it started. So I kind of know my way around, and I kind of bookmark pages where important information that I probably want to come back to.
And most of you jokers don't even get past the headline title. So you think you're going to sift through all those pages?
Yeah, I just make it easier to go in there and get the important information and then make it known for people on Twitter that's not on Reset Era, that don't have access to it, that don't have an account to it, or don't want to sift through 762 pages of 38,000, damn near 40,000 replies. That's all I do. I just go in there and get the important information. Now, believe me, it's some strong discussion. You have your fanboys that pop up in a thread, but you have IDOS is not the only lawyer in that thread. He's a mergers and acquisition lawyer. But he's not the only lawyer. It's multiple lawyers, investors, game creators, developers, all in that thread that's been given their perspective on this deal since it started. So it's a lot of great information in there once you know how to sift through the bullshit of the fanboy stuff and stuff like that. I will continue to provide y'all with the information that matter, whether it comes from Reset Era, NeoGAF, CNBC, YouTube, or wherever it comes from. I will continue to make it easy accessible for y'all, man. So we're gonna keep it rocking
stop
like
being
that, man.
mad because Post got on and you niggas didn't do it. In a story.
Facts. Shout out to Mac City Entertainment with the $2. Y'all can't see the gifts, fam. Hold on. No, let me see here. Let me get here. Let me see here.
He said, no,
let me see here. Let me see. Hold on, what are we doing here?
He said, what? He said, gifts.
Hold on. Okay.
Donation.
Oh, I need to be on YouTube. I didn't see some of these stuff. Let me pop. Okay.
I appreciate that, Mac.
Let me see. Mac City member for 1 month. He is a statesman. Sony got Deathloop, Ghostwire. Xbox got Starfield and Redfall. Even Steven, stop begging for our games. One deal done. ABK deal done. Sony and Japan in trouble. Facts. And we're going to get into that. Before we end the show, I'm going to kind of break down the role and the path that Microsoft is on right now. And if you're paying attention to how they set themselves up, it is immaculate. It is immaculate if you're paying attention to what they're doing right now and what they're going to do this year going into next year. Shout out to Mac City Entertainment, gifted 5 post-up membership. He gifted 5, y'all. What are we doing here? Shout out to Mac City Entertainment with the 5 gifted. I really appreciate it, bro. Thank you so much for continuously to support the platform. We really appreciate you, brother. You one of the baddest bots in the land, brother. I tell y'all all the time. So we're gonna move along. Noah, you want to get into your topic?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead
Let's
and do
okay.
that.
Let me pull that up. Because this is a serious topic here. Let's go ahead and knock it out before we get into the other stuff. Let me pull up his tweet. Right here. I'm gonna put this on screen, and then I'm gonna put up the article as well, to where he sourced this information from. Okay,
Yes,
go
sir.
ahead.
While you
Take
doing
it
that,
away.
start
Take
hitting
it
them
away.
likes, man.
Take it away, Noah.
All right, so let me give an explanation of what happened, right? So
Oh Lord.
the devs pretty much Kotaku. This came from Kotaku.
Mm-hmm.
Kotaku had an interview with the Final Fantasy 16
Mm-hmm.
developer, and they pretty much asked them, where's the diversity in this game? Looks like nothing but white males in this game. There's no people of color, and that doesn't mean just people of African descent.
But like a wide range of ethnicities.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
This game is whitewashed. But pretty
Okay.
much, I just snipped this
Damn.
part where he said, which begs the question, why did they enforce a whites only boundary in the first place? He's talking about Final Fantasy 16 now.
Mm-hmm.
And the dev said, oh yeah, you changed the screen.
Oh, my bad. Okay, let me bring that back. I
Yeah,
got you.
I'm gonna quote him word for word.
I got you. I got you.
So
Is that
after
better?
acknowledging that the real world,
There we
he
go.
said the real world, like the world we're living in now, is more
Mm.
diverse than Valistia. That's the world in Final Fantasy 7. I mean, 16. He continued. The story we are telling is fantasy, yes, but it's also rooted in reality, like most games are. Which is it, Yoshida? You can't say that your fictional world isn't bound to reality and then use reality to explain why black people can't exist in Valistia. Pick a struggle and stick with it, please. So this developer is saying pretty much because the game is rooted in medieval times.
Mm-hmm.
During the medieval times, they they chose not to include any other ethnicities, including blacks. My thing is, it's a fantasy game. There's demons, giants, uh, magic, and you can't put a few black people, a few people of other descent
Yeah.
in this game. And even if you chose not to, this is a poor excuse as to why you did. I'd rather they just come out and say, yeah, we just want to make a game with nothing but white people. That would have set better with me than in here. It's rooted in reality.
Well, you know what I'm confused about. Well, I know I watch a lot of anime, right? And a lot of the anime is Americanized, right? So
Mhm.
you have these characters that look Caucasian, but with
Yes,
Japanese um, voiceovers and accents and stuff like that, right?
yes.
Um, when,
Naruto.
yeah, a lot of anime, pretty much all
Yeah,
of it is Americanized. You rarely see a character in anime that's that that's not only speak from a Asian look, language, but also look Asian. Most of the characters are Americanized, and with which if you watch anime, it doesn't really like. When I first watched it, I'm like, okay, what's going on here? And then you kind of like why you kind of question why is it, but as you start watching it and you get used to watching it, you no longer question it, right?
yeah,
Um,
bro. Post up. Dragon Ball Z, for example. Goku get his ass whooped. Goku is an alien, right? He get his ass whooped until he turns into a Caucasian man with blue eyes and blonde hair. Then
yeah.
he's more powerful. Don't let that go over your head, bro.
Yeah. Well, that's a lot of Dragon Ball Z had a lot of racist stuff in it,
Yeah,
but
Mr.
we
Popo.
that's
But I'm
that's
saying,
a whole
but
that's a whole other conversation.
it's not a coincidence. It's not a
Yeah.
coincidence. And I know the tell he ran out of black ink, so they had to make his hair blonde for him to go Super Saiyan. That's BS.
So let me kind of go down here and look at the comments, right? So Tag Kid 86, which is um y'all if y'all been in Z Discord and stuff like that, if y'all been on the show, y'all know Tag Kid is a person that frequents his show and is in his Discord. He said, so he based his looks on medieval Europe. Why Noah gotta put race into everything?
I
Right.
didn't put race into it. That was the topic of the article.
Right. And I asked, so you're saying blacks didn't exist during medieval Europe? Not even just blacks. Blacks, more Asians. It's a lot of people existed at the time. And I said it because his comment didn't make any sense on why the diversity is not there. Because if you're saying it's fantasy and you're saying it's based on reality, and in the reality that there was blacks doing me. Blacks was all through Europe. You have queens and kings that ruled, black kings and queens that ruled Europe at one point. Okay, so if you really want to go there, but that's neither here or there. But we've seen this a lot. You see this disparity a lot in a lot of Asian content, even from even in anime. It's not just only in games. It extends into anime as well. You had people question how the Japanese culture pretty much express how black people look in characters and stuff, and how you would assume they did it intentionally on how certain black characters look in their game. And this is just he just blatantly. I don't even think this was a misquote. I don't even think this was. Why did you have to acknowledge the real world
How
is
can
more
you
diverse?
misquote that?
Yeah, the story we're telling is fantasy, yes, but it's also rooted in reality, which is Yoshida. You can say that your fictional world isn't bound to reality, and then use reality to explain why black people can exist, man. Like this is crazy, and this where I will say you have to cut the fanboyism off and start having
Facts.
serious dialogue. Cut the
Yep.
console war off, cut the fanboyism off, and then let's start having serious dialogue about this comment. But that didn't happen, right? Because you have people supporting the game and making excuses about this comment only because it's exclusive to the PlayStation 5.
The coon chip was activated.
You feel me?
The coon
And,
chip
and, and
was
then
activated.
I like what Dead Knight said. He said, bro, they forgot about the Huns, the Berbers, African tribes, and Arabs who were in Spain, Portugal, southern Italy, Central Europe to Russia during medieval Europe. Those groups I mentioned brought culture to Europe. And I would say yes, even taught them cleanliness, such as taking a bath. This is fact. This is fact. But outside of that, they immediately go to shield and protect the comments of this person, all because they want to play the game, they want to support the game, and it's exclusive. That shouldn't have no bearing on how you should feel about the comments that's being made here.
Crazy.
Because if you look at it, it pretty much said black people don't exist to us in reality.
Yeah. It sound
Hey,
like to
yo,
me.
Chill Walker hit it dead on the night. Japanese culture has a fascination with Germany. That's why you see a lot of Germany symbols in the anime that feature the military. Well, you know they
Yes, you
sided with
do. You see,
the Nazis in World War II.
hey, you see
So a lot of those.
if you
Go ahead,
watch
go ahead.
anime, you see a lot of symbolism in anime. If you're not just caught up in the theatrics that's going on with the fights and stuff like that, oh, you see a lot of symbolism, including the German symbolism that you're talking about, even swastikas and all of that. Oh, it gets deep, but go ahead, Noah, my bad.
No, I'm just saying they sided with Germany in World War II with the Nazis. So I remember there was an ideology behind the Axis side in World War II. So a lot of that you still see in in Japanese media. like animes and stuff. He hit it right on the head with. I wasn't gonna take it that far, but he hit
Yeah,
it right on the head with that one.
yeah, but the push. Hold on, let me show you the pushback. Hold on, let me look at this
In
shit.
my Dr. Umar voice, the
I
Coon
mean,
chip has
uh,
activated.
it's
The
crazy.
Coon chip is activated.
And I go, wait a minute. I go, huh? Because I couldn't believe, I thought, they came from a parody website, until Noah sent me the link. And this brother right here really said, Yoshi P cookie, good as always. We love him. I love him. Right? So I goes, so what you saying is you condone this racist shit? Right? And look, just look. He say, all I'm saying is let him cook. There are not Latinos or other races in the game, and no one is crying about it. Huh?
What?
So I say, I didn't even once he said that, right? Once he or she said that, I cut it off. I ain't even finna have this conversation. I say, bro, move around. I can't rock with people like you. Because what you're saying to me is what you're basically saying is, look, let him cook, let him make the game, because you really want to play the game, and you'll be willing to allow him to say anything as long as you can get your hands on that game. Right?
Pretty much.
Even if
It's them back post, y'all.
Yeah, even if it disrespect your culture, even if it disrespect you, your people, let him cook. I don't care what he just said. Let him finish the game. Ain't nobody else crying, right? So he say, no problem. I don't like being around sensible crybabies anyway, right? You are not the center of the world. Have you seen Mexicans cry because there are no mariachis or ponchos in the game? No,
What?
because they don't give a fuck. I don't play shit to feel. I don't play shit to feel represented. I guess I just want to have fun.
Hey, yo, can I be honest? I didn't even know the game was based in medieval times until I read the article. Like, none of the trailers indicate that this game is like medieval focused. Unless I'm mistaken, right?
When I don't get medieval when I look at the trailer.
Can you play the trailer?
Let's pull up the trailer. Let's pull up the trailer then. Let's go here.
Let's investigate.
16 official. Let's see what it's talking about.
That the screams medieval to me. Yeah, they was riding on
They do got sin.
giant birds.
Ozzy, what up?
Shit. Look like they on the island of city of Honolulu or something, bro. I don't know.
This was before the buildings and the castles.
Where's the medieval, bro? Hey, I'm like the trees in the Sahara Desert. What in Africa? Maybe that could go for medieval. I don't know. All these different landscapes, and not a single black man is just, man. This little town right here, maybe can go.
Nah,
for
that's medieval. You look at Gang of Thrones.
And Crystal Cave.
That look Gang of Thrones. They might got a point there. Neither here nor there.
That whole trailer, bro.
What I've learned about people, and when it relates to video gaming now as a whole, as you clearly see in them comments, people will ignore the disrespect just to enjoy the entertainment. it just is what it is. And unfortunately, in this type of climate, we need more diversity when it comes to developers, because clearly the people that's in front right now, they don't need to be there. That's all I gotta say.
Look, man, like
That's sad, bro.
I just hate when somebody try to tell me what I should and shouldn't be offended by.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you to tell me what I should and shouldn't be offended by?
I think we got more hate for the Harry Potter lady than this.
Who are you to tell me that because no other race is complaining that I shouldn't be complaining? Well, maybe the reason why other people are not complaining is because when was this article written?
It was kind of swept under the rug. It was written back in like
It was written back in November of 2022. And nobody knew about it.
What was going on in 2022?
How can somebody complain about something that was seemingly swept under the rug? Y'all made an issue about the Harry Potter.
Facts.
That's what I'm saying.
They made an issue about even the inquiry about Michael Jordan, what's his name? Michael B. Jordan, who just did the Apollo Creed movie. They had issues with him playing Superman. Or supposedly playing Superman.
Oh yeah.
Huh? Twitter blew up over that.
I learned some new stuff about Superman too, though. He's supposed to be of a other color. I'm just saying.
Oh, really?
They dragged poor Holly Bailey name through the mud because she's playing the role of Ariel in Little Mermaid. People complained about that. I have to say that often when it comes to our people, and I want to say this, and I want to be straightforward with, and I'm saying this because I know that we have a chat that can have these hard discussions, right? We can have these discussions. We can be civil. We can get our thoughts and our piece out regarding stuff like that, and not actually be angry and stuff at each other, but just understand where each other is coming from. Every time it comes to our people taking a role of another culture, it's an issue. It's a problem. But when our history, even in the books, when it's whitewashed, it's shut up. It ain't that serious.
Trayvon got a valid point. It said we're in games. We're either in gangs or henchmen. Like that for Spoken. That's why I want to feel it for Spoken. She got not even 10 minutes in the game. She got a gun pointed to her. And
they gave you flack about that. They gave you flack about pointing that out.
She's in trouble with the law. She's like, bro, this is the first game you get where you can depict a black character, and this is what you go to. You should have done more research.
And the crazy part is he got flack from his own people who chose their fanboyism over actually trying to understand what normal. I knew it when I saw it. It was a stereotype. Because that's how we are displayed across all mediums. Right?
Yeah, and conditioned to accept it due to the masses.
The black person is an animal, a savage, a gangbanger, a killer, a thief. The Arab is always a terrorist. The Muslim is a terrorist.
Yeah. You know what I will say though?
Well, at least in America cinema, the Asians are more often presented as weak. Somewhat
I will say Post Mellow, and this shout out to Resident Evil, shout out to Capcom. Remember when Resident Evil 5 got slack from when they put the game in Africa and it was nothing but black zombies, and they went back and threw in some white zombies in there.
Yeah,
Capcom ain't racist. This is why Resident Evil is great. But Square on the other hand,
I mean, it really gets deeper than that.
I'm about to say it's way deeper than what you're seeing right now.
It's
yeah,
way
I get that. I get that, but
it's way
you know,
deeper. And maybe we're gonna have to create another platform where we can really dive into this. But the Asian perspective on black people goes deeper than just games, right?
Fact.
It's a disdain there, right?
it's not just Asia though. Like
I'm not just saying Asia.
It's just a way of
it's
a way of signifying your negativity towards a particular group of individuals. That's the problem. And you got to think about the masses in which they can carry a product around the world and display it in a video game form, even to the little kids.
Look, we might get demonetized for this one, but even with the Ukraine situation, bro, they don't like us either.
But that even boils down to the gatekeeping, gatekeeping in video gaming. Because where are the minority developed game developers? They're out there, but they're not getting publicized in the and put in position to be in the front face when it comes to gaming. We so hell bent on trying to protect things like Call of Duty, Activision, and Square, but these people been around for decades, and they're showing you where they stand. And some people is just oblivious to the science that's being presented to them.
And I'm not saying it's all Asian people. I just want.
We just talking about them now because of the subject matter.
I'm not saying I'm not putting any bad energy on Asian people or anything like that. I'm talking about in terms of what's being said in this article and who's saying it.
Yeah, we talking due to the subject and matter, but it's a problem. It's a problem around the board. Period.
But it goes beyond gaming, like you said.
It's even the whole that's deeper than gaming.
They want us to pick a side between Ukraine and the whole Russia thing, right? But Ukraine calling us N-words and telling us, hey, we go over there to help Ukraine. They might call you the N-word, but just it's all right because that's the way they talk over there. That's not all right. That's not okay.
Yeah, I really wanted to touch on this because this the second time Norton put then caught something like this. Like I said, the other time was with the Forspoken, and immediately got pushed back and flack on pointing that out. You know what I'm saying? And people couldn't let go of their fanboyism for like 1 or 2 seconds to have a serious discussion about it. And then come around and people saying, hey, it's not that serious. It's this and that, making all type of excuses. And it is what it is. He said what he said. And if the person that was doing the interview in terms of Kotaku that came from, if that person saw it and understood it, then why can't you?
Yeah.
The art Dev has a terrible answer for why game is so white. If they caught it, why can't you?
That's the crazy thing about it, bro. All I did was repost and bring attention to it.
Yeah. I didn't even know about this. This came out in November 4th, 2022. And wasn't no hoopla made about this. How?
Because they too busy searching the internet for every negative Microsoft news that they can come out with. And what's crazy is, and we point out that hypocrisy when it comes to the bigger platforms like IGN and all that sniffed up under their noses too.
He say, okay, which begs the question, why did they enforce a whites-only boundary in the first place? After acknowledging the real world is more diverse than Valistia, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, he continued, the story we are telling is fantasy. Yes, but it is also rooted in reality. Which is it, Yoshida? You can't say that your fictional world isn't bound to reality and then use reality to explain why black people can't exist in Valistia. Pick a struggle and stick with it, please. What's really frustrating about all of this is that black and brown people have always existed in medieval Europe. If the creative leadership had done more research or checked their biases, then they might have noticed that black people have been living in Britain for 2,000 years, or that some black Europeans were canonized in the Holy Roman Empire, or realized that Iberia was under Islamic rule for approximately 500 years, instead of a realistic imagining of medieval Europe. We got Final Fantasy 16 instead.
Man.
Huh?
What?
That's facts.
That's crazy.
That's facts, right? So when when on Twitter you had people in the comment section pointing these things out to people who was pretty much telling you shut up and play ball, basically.
Pretty much.
That's basically what they said, right? We enjoy this game. We want this game. It's a PS5 exclusive. Shut up and play ball. Shut up and play the game. Let them cook. Let them cook. Just excuse what he just said. You're the only one complaining. Let the game come out so we can enjoy it. This doesn't matter to me. But look, here we are. We just wanted, we wanted to cook on that subject. That's all. We wanted to really cook on that and talk about that. Yeah, Blase, they're still going to do it, and as you can see, none of the ponies on Twitter really said anything.
No,
K Mega did a requote tweet on this. And was appalled by it and said he wasn't buying the game. And Jabari, a PlayStation dude, Mr. Lisp himself, you know what he said?
What do you say?
Let me bring this up.
Please highlight what he said.
Let me bring this up.
That was crazy.
Let me bring this up. Hold on.
It
popped right up. It popped right up. He said, well, F16 will understand reality and not get my money. They done fucked up with that comment, right?
Absolutely.
Right? And so, and then you already see people defending it. Where is it? Let's see here. Look at all the excuses.
He might have deleted it.
Hold on. Let me see here. I don't know. Did he? Okay, here go. Y'all know. Look at this. Look at this. Laugh out loud, man. This is King Trash, right? Laugh out loud, man. Y'all mad about the weirdest things. Keep this out of gaming. Let the devs make what they choose. Want to see more black people in games? Holler at black devs. Other than that, it should be a non-issue.
Are you really gonna downplay that?
This Mr. Nigga, Mr. Black, Mr. Nigga right here, Mr. Black Power himself.
That brother put water in the Kool-Aid.
Mr. Black Power himself.
He put so much water, he diluted the Kool-Aid, bro. That boy.
That boy don't know whether he. I'm gonna leave that alone, bro.
Man, Coon Chip has activated.
This what Bari said. Do you have a PS5?
What?
Skip what was said.
Yo.
Do you got a PS5?
Yo.
Man.
Yo.
You can't make it up.
I can't, bro. I can't.
You can't make this shit up, bro. Niggas will turn a blind eye for their own enjoyment. They will turn a blind eye for their own enjoyment, bro.
Yo.
Person can disrespect you and spit in your face, and they gonna say it was Kool-Aid, bro.
And people say, "Yeah, is this news months ago?" It was. If it was new, I didn't hear about it? Why wasn't nobody talking about this? this is what he said was serious enough to start a discussion, at least. And all he asked was, do you have a PS5?
It don't matter if it was months ago. The game ain't came out. It's still pending release. He said it's still relevant.
It
It's
came
not
out
like
his mouth and he disrespected. Period.
exactly.
Point blank. There ain't nothing else to worry about. A console war, none of that. He's saying he's spitting in your face and calling it Kool-Aid, and y'all niggas accepting that shit, bro. That's crazy to me. That's insane. But when the lady said the stuff about Harry Potter, boy, y'all went out in droves about that game.
But see, they protect and this is why they did the pushback on Noah, because Forspoken was a PS5 exclusive. So that took precedent over the real issue at hand in terms of the stereotypical nature of how they display her in the game. And so they're gonna want to make excuses about it in all of that. I don't care, man. Even if this game was exclusive to the Xbox and it was said, I will have an issue with it. Just like when 343 did the what was that the
Bonnable, yeah.
The Bonables and all that. Even when the Black Cat Xbox issue came out, like all of that stuff got to be, you know what I'm saying? I know it's gaming, but at some point you got to step outside of that, put down the console war and stuff, and be like, yo, you know, let's really take a look at this. This is wild. He really said black people don't exist in his reality. Or in reality, period.
Yeah,
or we don't recognize them in that period. That's crazy. But we finna move along. We definitely about to move along. Shout out to the 108 people that's watching. Hit the like button. We finna continue.
Make sure you hit that like button. Yeah.
Okay, so we got Redfall and Starfield. We talked about that. We talked about FF16. We talked about RE4. We talked about Game Pass for $1. Let's do one more, and then we're gonna get into the Activision stuff. Let me check these. Let me check YouTube right to make sure. Shout out to let me do this here. Shout out to Suicide King. Let me put this on the screen here. Shout out to Suicide Kings with the $5. Yoshida's just saying that in his fantasy, finally there ain't yo, man, you wild, bro. You wild, bro. You wild, bro. Like, yeah, but I just wanted to make sure that, you know, we pretty much point at what but that tension there in terms of that is deeper than it goes deeper than just gaming. But that's a whole nother conversation though. You know,
it sounds like I know we moved away from the top, but it sounds like he went out his way not to include any black characters or even black NPCs for that matter. It's a touchy subject, and
go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm all about creative freedom. Make the game you want to make, but he even said in the interview, I knew this question was coming. So you consciously decided, yeah, we ain't putting no black people in this game. It seems a little personal, bro. That's all I'm saying. Shit seems a little personal.
It's cool and all, because like I say, creative power is creative power. That's his creativity. That's what he wanted in his game and his product. That's cool.
Yeah,
but when it's in your face with the disrespect and y'all continue to try to defend the mess, that is wild to me.
Yep.
That's the part that get concerning when you just someone bring this up to your attention about the hypocrisy in gaming, and the first thing you can say is, "Dude, you got a PS5." What?
And my thing is, yeah, he got the creative freedom, and we don't have to buy it, and that's why I want to bring it to as many people attention as possible. This game ain't for us.
You got a right to
Exactly.
choose, man. You got a right to choose, and I'm not, and we're not here to tell you what to do or how to choose, whether you buy the game or don't buy the game. That's up to you. We just felt as though this was a topic that should have been discussed, and that should have had
Most
more
people.
attention than it did. When it came out, because for this to slide under the rug like that, it is crazy, and I don't know why nobody was talking about this. None of the ponies, none of the PlayStation dudes, or nobody, none of the
They ain't seen
media.
the headline nowhere near about this stuff. And that's that thing that we
Did
said when we say there is a biasness towards a certain brand, but everyone sitting here say, oh, you're just trying to take up for something. No, it's an acknowledgement of what's going on out here. And the
and what
subliminal messages that they have in these games and in this entertainment content as a whole, when someone brings it to your attention, you might want to raise your ears about it and look at it a little bit further. Because it might be something there.
Exactly.
Taco the only one that wrote about that?
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
see other.
Hey, I don't
I've
know.
seen it.
That's you
Now that I
see.
was like made aware of the article,
Mhm.
I did notice there was a few like
A few other
YouTubers that
outlets
no
or
like
YouTube.
YouTubers actually. Yeah.
Okay.
Some defending it, some against it.
Mm. This
So
is
it
this is this is wild, bro.
yeah,
Yeah.
but it's definitely not. You would think something like this would have been on a lot of people's radar, but
Yeah,
it
you thought
kind of
that would have
flipped.
been trending.
Yeah.
Man,
You would have think that would have been trending, but
you
we gonna
wonder why we get disrespected because guess what? These cats can't even get in line to show acknowledge that we getting disrespected.
it's cool, man. To each his own, man. To each his
Hey,
own. Look,
crazy.
we just wanted to bring some awareness to it. You guys can make your own decisions and your own choices about that remark that was said or that comment that was said about why he chose the choice in terms of his game. That's cool. We don't have any disdain against Asian people as a whole, but uh, things like that is deeply rooted not only just in gaming but in other things as well. So we're gonna move along. We're gonna knock out this Hellblade 2, touch up on this for just a second, and then we're gonna get into the bulk of what this show is gonna be about, and that is the Activision. We finna. Let me just get this on screen. Okay, so GDC was going on, I think last week, if I'm not mistaken, and Ninja Theory and Unreal Engine 5. They did a presentation with this new technology they got called MetaHuman, right? And it's what Ninja Theory been using in their new game Hellblade 2, right? And so they came out and they did a demonstration um, about the technology. But before the demonstration got released, what we saw was the ending of the presentation where they were showing you what a bit of Hellblade 2 of what Ninja Theory captured using that technology. And then everybody went Twitter just went crazy. Xbox people saying it was in game. This is what Hellblade 2. Well, some Xbox people in the community were saying this is in game. This is how it's gonna look. And then you had people on the other side, which were saying it's just a demo. It's not going to look like that. You have even people saying it looked at so good and so real that even our resident Chris, the ignorant PlayStation dude, said it was a real person.
He did say that, didn't
He said she was a real person, that it wasn't CGI or graphics. And so then that started to lead a debate on whether it was real, whether it was CGI, an engine, is the real game going to look like that? And I just want to say we don't know. We won't know what the game is going to look like
Whoa, wait, whoa, whoa,
until we
whoa.
get it
Hold
in our
on, hold
hands.
on. We
Uh,
do know
uh,
that game is finna flip the fuck out. Do you hear me, bro?
okay.
From a person that's playing around with this Unreal Engine
Uh,
mess. and messed around with that metahuman, bro.
Okay.
When Ninja Theory made that mess, they took part of making metahumans.
Mm-hmm. I know they actually helped with the rig, with a portion of the rig and how to it manipulates the face and all that stuff. And yeah, they helped with the technology.
That game is finna set a bar. And that's unprecedented.
Well, look, man. I feel the same way you do, right?
Amen. Say, man.
Look, I feel the same way you do, right?
We ain't gonna ignore this. Like,
hold on. I feel the same way that you do, but I just want to take precautions, right?
No,
I want to take precautions.
We ain't doing that. I
don't want to assume. Look, because and I had to correct because so when that footage released, and then when the as you see on the screen, the demonstration release, right? Some YouTube channels had like only a minute and some of this demonstration. They chopped it. Some people only chopped it down to like 4 or 5 minutes. So the whole entire presentation wasn't there. So you had some Sony fans saying, "Look, I told you it wasn't real. This was just a demo on stage done by an iPhone," right? And I goes and say, "No, you have to look at the full. You have to look at the full presentation." And the guy said, I did look at the full presentation. No, your presentation is 5 minutes. My presentation is 7 minutes and 40 some seconds, almost eight minutes.
Hey, listen to me. I don't care what they said. I'm telling you all for firsthand experience and from the camera that was set up and positioned in that lady's face. That is a red cam that's doing metahuman.
I know about the red cameras. The red cameras are very expensive. The missions run about 30,000, 40, 50, 100,000 for one camera. I know about the red cameras. 4K.
Yeah. When I say, hey, Sway, when I tell you these dudes don't got the answers, and if you played the first game and you seen their focus on expressions, depression, and things of that nature when it comes to the emotions of a human going through trauma, that metahuman, bro, this is gonna set a bar that I am very concerned about in gaming.
Why are you concerned about it?
The reason why I swear I wanted to go live with it, but it's gonna set a bar so high that I think a lot of if it's successful as I think it's going to be, a lot of people are going to try to push for that, and they're going to ignore content when it comes with gaming. They're going to heavily focus on those visuals to get those characters to have those type of emotions. Like, this is something that PlayStation would love, like a drop of a dime. Like, if they did a Detroit Become Human or whatever with that engine, it would be bananas because of the story. But content-wise, will lack because of this. This is something that's happening when it comes with Unreal Engine 5 now, because people are starting to say, hey, these games are either starting to look the same with just different characters, and where's the content at or the substance in the game. That's another reason why Fortnite allowed creators now to just make their own maps inside their engine, because they are I think they're on a tight line of what to do with content base for that game.
Well, I would say this. All I was saying is that people tried to chop the video up to create a narrative that what Ninja Theory has shown was just a demo created on the cell phone. And I said, no.
Nah.
The beginning of this demo up here. Let me go here. Let me go to the video right up here, where she's right here. They bring out the camera. They're on the iPhone. This part right here is for independent small developers, right? Who don't have access to a full motion capture or performance capture studio, okay? Or for your developer that's making a or creating a game by themselves in their home. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
it's for those. It's for those small independent developers who don't have the big budgets, who work with what they have to get where they need to be. Right.
Right.
We're making this easily accessible. Right. We want to make it where any developer, right, whether one, two, three, small team, big team, or large team, can use even a cell phone to create the expressions and the emotions that they need to, or the facial captures that they need to from their cell phone. So it's basically saying anybody can use it.
Yeah.
It's not just secluded to full motion performance capture studios with full rigs and everything, 100 sensors and thousands of sensors on a wall tracking you and shit like that. Anybody can use that, right? And so as they go into it, they demonstrating that hey, even you, the developer at home, that probably don't have access to the cameras we have, but all you need is your iPhone, and you can have access to this technology too.
Yep.
Okay.
You know what? You
All
know
right.
what? You know what? It's starting to make sense now. Not
Mhm.
to cut you off, post,
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
but and this comes like it's like a difference in strategy, right?
Yeah.
Sony is so invested in these big AAA motion studios, where Microsoft is kind of winning the little guys and the indies.
Yeah.
But with the
Exactly.
technology that's coming,
Yep.
even the small guys are going to be able to create like
And,
big cinematic games
and
with
that's
like
what
look
it's
at this.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what
Yeah.
this is about. That's what this is about. That look, we're not leaving the little guys out, right? That's what they're saying. We're not leaving the little guys out, right? So they tell you not only you can take this technology, create your face and all that stuff, and then get that done in quickly, but you can also take those expressions that you made and put it across our other faces, our pre-made faces that's already in the system made. It works across. It will work across all of that too, right? So towards the end right here, let me see here. This is where they tell you this rig right here, that's to the right of her face right here. This right here, this is what them and Ninja Theory had worked on. This is the rig that can manipulate the facial expressions. This is
Right.
what Ninja Theory built for Hellblade 2.
Right.
Wow.
Unreal
Yeah.
Engine took this. Let me show you. Let me
And
show you.
implemented into the program.
And
Yeah.
incorporated into the program. So
Wow.
look how they you see how they moving the objects right there, and her face is moving.
And they say Microsoft not good for
Right.
gaming. That's
So
This is
this
crazy,
this
bro.
is
yeah.
deep fake. This is
So
deep fake right now.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that is a rig. That is a rig that
Man.
Ninja Theory built for Hellblade 2. And now Unreal Engine say, hey, we like that. Let us incorporate that into our engine, into this metahuman technology.
Man.
So
Hey,
now everyone have access to it.
hey,
Hold on,
hold
go
on.
ahead,
Bro.
Noah.
I don't
Go
think
over
people
there.
get it, bro. I was watching David Jaffe stream, right? And he was talking about Chat GPT and how much how user friendly development will be in the future. Because even if you don't know code or you don't know how to write, scripts for a game, the AI can do it for you. All you have to do is tell it what you want in the game, and then you got this right here. Like if you need the motion captures to do the cinematics, you don't need $1 million studio to make big games. But all this is coming full circle now. I'm seeing the big picture. I don't think people see the big picture. If you want like just three or four studios making big games in the future, then you'll side with Sony's view of gaming. But Microsoft is trying to make it where we can get uh higher, bigger quality games from even the small dudes, even the small teams. Like this shit is huge. I don't think people see it. I don't think people see it, bro. I see it. I see it now.
It
I'm seeing it
goes
like
into that
full circle, bro.
conversation that I was saying before prior. When I said that, the indie development team is massive on Xbox, especially when you come in with the Game Pass. Like a lot of people don't talk about it, but there's a waiting list over 3,000 people trying to get their games on Game Pass, and they gotta, do this in tiers and levels to release games. I was mentioning that at one point on my last video on YouTube on my channel about EA. They have the same device called Move.io. And it does the
Yeah.
same exact thing, but you can take a room and take like 6 cameras, iPhone cameras, and you can get the whole body motion with it.
Oh,
And
really?
yes, and
That's
implement it
crazy.
into the game. So what like Post was saying, the technology is becoming so advanced to the point where you don't need the high-end developers, you don't need the high-end equipment
You don't
to
need the
make
Right.
budget. You don't
yeah,
need
you
that
don't
budget.
you don't need that massive budget to come out with something quality and efficient for gamers.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
indie developers are not held bound or put in a bubble to make a one-dimensional video game. This is
Yep.
why it's imperative that they have this type of toolage in their hand. And Unreal Engine is, bro, that engine is impressing me every time I use it. The more I learn, I'm like, this is it. This is where if you wanted to be in this type of world and invest your time into it and actually learn it, you can go as far as the stars can see outside of gaming. We talking commercials, we talking about
Movies.
um
This technology just don't apply
educational
to
video,
gaming.
yeah,
Educational videos,
videos
movies.
explaining like
Yeah.
dinosaurs and the stars to the kids and visiting different planets, all in the video game format. When it comes to visual learning, this is it.
And I want, and this is the part of the I want to get to. Listen to what he says.
Thank you all. These technologies are completely redefining our creative process, as they will redefine yours when we release MetaHuman Animator to everyone in just a couple of months.
Watch
We've
this.
got one more thing we'd like to show you.
Listen.
We haven't forgotten about the needs for full performance capture shoots.
You heard what he said? We haven't forgot about the needs of full performance capture shoots, right?
Yeah.
Now, this is where he is separating what they just showed with the cell phone to the high-end shit. This where he's saying, look,
Yeah.
now this is where he's talking to the big guys, the publishers, the Microsoft, the Sonys, the Epic, all the big AAA publishers who have full caption motion studios or developers with access to those studios. He's saying, hey, look, we know we just showed you a demonstration with a cell phone, but that's for the look, guys. But we haven't forgot about the need for full performance capture. Watch what he's now. Watch this. Watch this.
Thank you all. These technologies are
Hold on.
when we release MetaHuman Animator to everyone in just a couple of months.
Now watch this.
We've got one more thing we'd like to show you. We haven't forgotten about the needs for full performance capture shoots. What you're about to see is animation that has not been polished or edited in any way.
Now, this is where the full performance capture comes in. This is where all that cell phone shit get pushed to the side. This is her in the new studio that Microsoft built for Ninja Theory that has its own built-in full performance capture studio. Right? This is the room. Now, this is where you got on the big boy equipment, right? This is where the red cameras or whatever cameras you're using, them expensive cameras and all that with the high quality and stuff and all. This is where that comes in, right? So he's saying, okay, now we're going on to the big boys who can afford, and we haven't forgot about y'all who got the full motion capture studios. Now, he also said what Ninja Theory captured here hasn't been edited or polished in any kind of way, meaning that the data that they're capturing is raw data. You had people out there comparing what I'm about to show y'all now versus what was shown when Hellblade 2 was originally announced, and it was like it's a downgrade. It's not a downgrade. The difference is the one back last year was edited. It was polished, right? It was made to look like that. What you see now is just raw data that hasn't been edited or polished, but it still looks freaking amazing. So let's check it out. Let's check it out.
What you're about to finish. But one more thing we'd like to show you. We haven't forgotten about the needs for full performance capture shoots. What you're about to see is animation that has not been polished or edited in any way, and it took MetaHuman Animator just minutes to process start to finish.
Yeah, so here's one of my favorite lines from Ninja Theory's upcoming game, Senua's Saga Hellblade 2, and I really hope you enjoy it and the rest of the show. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sign perf cut, take 13.
Look at this shit. Look at
Bruh.
raw data. This is a raw capture. Not edited. It's not edited or polished. This is just raw data.
Man.
I see through your darkness now. I see through your lies. I will show them how to see as I do. I will not appease your gods. I will destroy them.
Man.
Thank you, Trayvon. Facts.
Anybody be
Bro, this is
Facts.
scary.
Look at that.
Good.
Now that's
Like
that ain't no cell phone. That ain't no iPhone. What are we doing here?
Man.
Look, I just wanted to help people understand the difference in what they was talking about in the demonstration. They showed you a demonstration for small developers and people who don't have the budget to get access to studios like she's in. She's in probably a multi-million-dollar. They're in a multi-million-dollar studio. Microsoft built them a building from the ground up and incorporated. And let me tell you something: them motion capture studios are not cheap.
No.
Not cheap. That shit is expensive.
We talking at minimum $4 an hour. At minimum.
It's not cheap. So she's in a high performance capture studio with probably thousands of dollars worth for a camera. The camera, man, I ain't gonna even get it. Man, I'm just saying though. I just wanted to kill that notion that people took what we just watched saying it wasn't done on a cell phone, bro. It was not done on a cell phone. It's a difference.
Thank you for educating me, Paul. I ain't even know.
Nah.
Yeah, I because when people put the video, they clipped this part. They clipped off this part. The video that people was posting on Twitter was at like 5-some minutes, and it stopped at it cut off after he said MetaHuman will be out in 2 months. Thank you. Well, and then it cuts off. It don't even go to, well, we have one more thing to show you. And that's why I put out the whole video footage and said, look, we haven't forgot about the need for full performance capture. Let me show you what you can do when you have access to a full capturing studio and high quality equipment. You've seen the difference between this face. Hold on.
Is
where is that?
The take to pick the section that he wants to process.
Where is
it?
It?
Take less than a minute. Let me show you MetaHuman. That data we can generate to your face.
Hold on, where is that?
In a way, it is on the latest landmark original performance.
Hold on.
Quick, few seconds, and should now be ready in the level. Now,
look at the quality of her face right here, right? That looks
performance capture to work like a mirror. I needed to capture.
You see the quality of her face right there. That's from a cell phone.
That is crazy.
That's from a cell phone, right? That's from a cell phone. But
whether
I know Twitter is compressing the video, but
scared.
No, it still look good though.
But
you gotta pay attention to how her cheekbones and her face expression is being captured.
But look
on
here,
a camera, a smartphone.
It took
but look at here, though.
Just minutes to process.
Look at here, though.
13.
Bro, that rivals most.
Look, it's a difference,
bro.
And then you got the
look
you got
at right
the big
here.
boy toys.
It's a difference. You can see the difference already.
And then
from
they
what they capture on
implement
this.
the level of detail into her face.
The
on
level of
this part.
detail is different from. You can tell the
You
difference
can
from
see the
what they
hair
capture.
particles on her side of
The
her
pores
face.
in her face and everything, bro. You can see the difference from what they capture on cell phone than what they capture here in a full studio. It's a difference.
Show them how to see as I do.
Man,
it's such a difference that Chris, dumbass, thought this was a real person and not.
Bro, we thought that the little glimpse of the Gears of War was good that they was talking about.
Yeah,
they ain't even getting to the polished state of that yet.
Yeah, I think Hellblade 2 is gonna. I think it's gonna look amazing, man. Shout out to Mac City Entertainment with the $2. Ponies watched it on a cell phone. Left out of these fucking niggas slow. Yeah, I just wanted to get that out there because there was a lot of misinformation going around intentionally to downplay what Ninja Theory. Oh, Xbox getting hyped over this, and it was done on a cell phone. No. It was. This is two different things here. They showing you its levels.
It is levels to exactly.
They showing you its levels.
There is a reason CD Projekt Red is transferring to Unreal. There is a reason that a lot of developers are jumping towards Unreal, even Everwhere. They just dropped the trailer. I can't wait till I get my channel back, bro. I got some shit to talk about.
Yeah, bro. Okay, so we're gonna move on. But I just wanted to put that out there, man. Now, in terms of whether that's in, I don't consider that in game or anything like that. I just consider them doing a demonstration, showing taking a portion of what they're doing with Hellblade and using it for demonstration purposes for Unreal. All I know is whenever that game comes out, it's gonna look fucking amazing. And I'm telling you now, we're about to go into April. June is around the corner. We don't have that long before we really gonna see what this game look like. And if it comes out looking like even close to this or even better than the initial trailer that they showed last year, oh, it's gonna be a lot of crow eating. It's gonna be a lot of crying in the car, mama.
I'm handing out buffets. You hear me? That game is finna be phenomenal because again, I think it's called Luminate or Luminate. Don't quote me on it, but that and the pixel count of what they're doing and how they're able to compress the game to make the performance match the visuals, nigga, it is a wrap. I'm sorry. It is the done deal. The only thing I have an issue with, or I'm concerned about, just a little concern, is the content. That's it. Because if y'all give us this massive content, how it's gonna look when it comes to the multiplayer? How it's gonna look when it comes to the storytelling in the game with multiple people, not just single player. That's the only thing I'm concerned about.
Okay, so we're going to start off with we're going to get into the meat of it all, right? We're finna get into this Microsoft, Activision, CMA, Japan. We're finna get into the meat of it. We're finna go there. So, man, if you got your popcorn, if you got your juice, pop of water, or your dinner plate in front, man, pull up, get yourself situated because we finna go through it. And we finna start it off. We finna start it off with a bang. Let me bring this up on screen. We're gonna start it off just like this,
y'all. Make sure y'all hit that like button.
Hit the like button. It's about to go down. We finna start it off like this. You feel me? You feel me? Check it out.
So it looks like the $69 billion Activision Blizzard deal is about to be blocked. I mean, this is a 99% chance that the conclusion of this is not going to be good for Microsoft. Microsoft has won. They're going to be able to buy Activision Blizzard for $69 billion. This deal has been cooking for over a year now. There's been a bunch of legal roadblocks. Can you buy a company that big? Is this a monopoly? These are actual questions that had to be argued in court. And now the first of the final findings have just been submitted, and it sounds like it's definitely getting approved. They've won. Team PlayStation, for all their pushback, for all their complaints, it looks like Sony is taking an L that they really didn't want to take. But so it looks like for a year now, the deal has been cooking for over $1 billion. This deal has been Blizzard for $69 billion. This deal has been cooking for over a year now, but there's been a bunch of legal roadblocks. Can you buy a company that big? Is this a monopoly? These are actual questions that had to be argued in court. And now
Hold on. Look, bro, hold on. I gotta do this one more time because bro sound like he wanted to cry.
They did.
Bro sound like he wanted to cry. Oh, let me mute that. So let me one more time. We finna kick this.
So
off.
it looks like the $69 billion Activision Blizzard deal is about to be blocked. I mean, this is a 99% chance that the conclusion blocked. I mean, this is a 99% out to be blocked. I mean, this is a 99 out to be blocked. I mean, this is a 99% chance that the conclusion of this is not going to be good for Microsoft. Microsoft has won. They're going to be able to buy active.
Hey, you heard that? Hold on, one more time. Y'all gotta hear it. Y'all gotta hear it. Y'all gotta hear it.
They're going to be able to buy active.
Yo,
But you heard a crack in the voice.
bro wanted to cry in the car. He wanted to cry. He ain't
Jim,
the
how did
only
you
one.
let this happen? Hey, I got a question before you get into your thing post.
Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
When I'm gonna say when this Activision Blizzard deal goes through,
Mm-hmm.
is Jim Ryan out of a job?
No.
You don't think so? Even
no.
with because this.
No. Hold on. Let me get Mello back in here. All right. Jim Ryan is gonna be good. Jim Ryan is gonna be good.
Damn, man, my bad.
PlayStation has a plan. PlayStation has a plan.
Probing going on with
even with they knew the consequences of their actions.
I know, man, but you know how some companies, bro, they know, but it's about results.
They knew the consequences of their actions, right?
I don't think they knew, Post.
I don't think they knew. I'm with Noah on this one.
Let me tell you something.
We talk about Sony and Jim Ryan. I don't think they ready for this. But
hey, let me tell you something, Mel. The only
Microsoft has won.
You feel me?
They're going to be able to buy Activision.
He was hurt.
Hold on.
For $69 billion.
Hold on. Check this one out.
Microsoft has won. They're going to be able to buy Activision.
Shout out to J-Rock.
For $69 billion. This deal has been cooking for over a year now, but there's been a bunch of legal roadblocks. Can you buy a company that big? Is this a monopoly? These are actual questions that had to be argued. And now the first of the final findings have just been submitted, and it sounds like it's definitely getting approved. They've won. Team PlayStation, for all their pushback, for all their complaints, it looks like Sony is taking an L that they really didn't want to take. But let's
shout out to J-Rock. Congratulations.
Oh my God.
Hit the like button. We going there.
saying.
Hit the like button. Let's go.
You gonna get my pain. My pain. Lord Jesus. Not like this. Not like
They
this.
call me everything but a child of God. I don't care.
Come on now.
Mama.
You supposed to be like this.
I say mama.
Like cry like that.
I say mama.
Somebody hold me.
Mama, why they doing it to me, mama? Mama. All right, we finna
pray for times like this, so he ain't gotta cry like
we
that.
finna get to it. We finna get to it, man. We finna get to it. I had to do that because, man, they've been calling me out my name. They've been disrespecting me and everything, man. And I don't say nothing. I just do what I do. But we finna get to it, all right? So we're gonna start off with the CMA, right? Let's see here. Let me see here. We can start.
The pain. They got the pain.
We can pretty much start here with the CMA. This was a statement from Activision. Activision said the CMA's updated provisional findings show an improved understanding of the console gaming market and demonstrates a commitment to supporting players in competition. Sony's campaign to protect its dominance by blocking our merger can't overcome the facts, and Microsoft has already presented effective and enforceable remedies to address each of the CMA's remaining concerns. We know this deal will benefit competition, innovation, consumers, and the UK. Okay. All right. And that comes on the heel of, let me see here, of this right here. The CMA published an addendum to the provisional findings, which was 17 pages. The inquiry group has now revised its view and provisionally concludes that the merger may not be expected to result in a substantial lessening of competition in the market for the supply of console gaming services in the UK. All right. And then the third party competitors such as Sony or Alphabet Group, which is the parent company to Google, or anybody who have any issues who are with or against this merger, has a week to respond to these updated provisional findings. So they have by the 31st, which is in a couple of days, right? Summary 2 pages. It says the concerns about the console market have dropped, and only the ones about cloud gaming remains. Okay, they did a press release. It said new evidence provisionally alleviates concerns in relation to the supply of game consoles in the UK. Previously stated provisional views that the deal raises concerns in cloud gaming unaffected. Investigation continues, and they're still on a roll to make their final report about by April 26th. So let me kind of break this down on what this means, because this is important, right? We know that 5 countries so far, Japan makes 5 today. So Serbia, you have Brazil, amongst other countries that approved this deal without any concessions, right? Unconditionally, right? Without any concessions. What the CMA is telling Microsoft is that in terms of the console space, there's no concessions. We don't need no concessions. So in the hardware space, in the console space, it means that Microsoft can do what they want to do, basically. So, meaning that if Microsoft choose to take Call of Duty exclusive, they can. And the CMA won't push back because the CMA is now saying that even if Microsoft was to make Call of Duty exclusive, there still wouldn't be no substantial lessening of competition. That's basically what they're saying. And they also saying that Microsoft wouldn't be stupid enough to remove PlayStation, to remove Call of Duty from PlayStation based on the new information that they submit. They wouldn't be in a spot where they'll be willing to lose that much money, right? But even still, right? Microsoft has the green light in the hardware space, meaning they can do what they want now. Since Sony didn't sign any agreement, anything like that, Microsoft can do what they want. They can keep it on PlayStation. They don't have to put it on PlayStation Plus no more, right? Because PlayStation Plus is not cloud. PS Now, well, they did a Game Pass move, but Microsoft, they can put it exclusively on Game Pass if they want. They can still force Sony to, force their customers to pay for it. Microsoft have full reign in the hardware space now, right? That's basically what they're saying. On the outside of that, they're saying, look, we still see issue with the cloud space. Even though cloud space is a nascent market, it's a market that hasn't even formed yet. But I think the reason why they're particular about this specific market is due to Microsoft having Azure, right? Microsoft and being ahead of a lot of people, and they assume that Microsoft can take Call of Duty and use that to drive customers and other businesses to Azure and stuff like that. But this was a huge win from Microsoft because in the console space, and I think it was really and I think Sony knew this all along. That's why they didn't sign the agreement. I think Sony knew this all along, and Sony wanted this deal blocked more so than to get agreement because Sony knew all along that regardless if they did an agreement with Microsoft or not, that they was always going to have access to Call of Duty. Sony knew this. That's why they didn't care about signing no agreement. They know they're going to get it regardless, right? Microsoft just at the end of the day, because they take on Activision debt as well. So this deal gonna be more than $69 billion, just like the Bethesda deal was 7.5, but it came out to be $8 billion because they had to take on Bethesda debt and a lot of other stuff. This deal might turn out to be anywhere from 75 billion. $75 billion. It's gonna be way more than 68. I tell you that by the time everything is over. But the point of this, what the CMA saying, look, you got free reign in the console space. You're good. We don't have any issues there. You can do what you want to do with Call of Duty, basically. Yes, Jeremy. I'm gonna get into that too because the implications of this deal is bigger than Call of Duty. It's always been bigger than Call of Duty. But now it's even bigger because I think
Hey, other Zinc calling you out, Post.
Other Zinc saying what? What are you saying? That isn't true. What isn't true, Other Zinc? What I said is facts. The CMA sees no substantial lessening of competition in the market for the supply of console gaming services. Meaning Microsoft doesn't have to make any concessions in the console gaming services market. meaning the hardware market. In regards to Call of Duty, they don't have to make any concessions regarding Sony. Whether Sony signed an agreement or not, it doesn't matter anymore. Facts, Jeremy. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying in the cloud space, yes, they have to make concessions.
It will hurt though for like future. It could hurt future acquisitions though.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that. I'm saying in the cloud space, even the EU said that. The EU said in the hardware, we're no longer concerned about the console hardware market. So even the EU and the EU, right, the European Commission and the CMA has just given Microsoft the green light in the hardware space regarding Call of Duty, meaning you can do what you want. You're not bound by any concessions or anything like that. But in the cloud portion of it, we need concessions. We need to make sure that's a level playing field for a market that really doesn't exist, but it's a growing market. And it's going to grow over the next 5 or 10 years. And we want to make sure that everybody have a shot at it, including the little guys. Okay, so hold on. So let me see here. The other Zinc saying the Xbox division doesn't need Sony to earn their money back for the acquisition. Yes, they do. And I'll take an L on this because initially when this deal was announced, I was one of the people saying, well, Microsoft don't need Sony. They can, they don't care about Sony money. They can woo out the bam and be good, They just spent 60-something billion. You think they care about who I used to be that person. But I have to take an L. The money that PlayStation generate is a significant amount. And just like Phil Spencer said, you're going out spending $70 billion on this acquisition. Then you want us to turn around and remove Call of Duty from PlayStation, then write off billions more? That's not smart business, Other Zinc. That's not smart business. They need PlayStation to recoup some of that money. I mean, they're going to do it anyway. They're going to recoup it from probably other aspects of the company. But they're not trying to write that. Why you think Phil said 3 years, then 5, then 10. Yeah, we give y'all that. Because within that time span, we done been to 8 enough. They're gonna get that 60, that 68, 69, they're gonna get that back. Azure gonna bring that back. Office and all of those other departments, they're gonna get that back easily, right? We know they're gonna get that back. You know what I'm saying? But in 5 or 10 years, oh yeah, we good now. We cool, we good. We can, they can do what they're gonna do with it. But I'm saying right now, it'll be stupid of them to spend, $70 billion on this acquisition, only to turn around and have to write off billions more. That's all I'm saying, Other Zinc. No, I get what he's saying too, Jeremy. I get what he's saying too, Jeremy, in terms of if you look at how Microsoft generates money. I think at a point, I think they made like $1 billion a day, $1 billion a day. You know what I'm saying? I understand that. I understand that. But I'm saying it makes no sense to spend all that money and then turn around and have to write off billions more. Let me see here. Other Zinc, here we go. Here go Ray Nim. Other Zinc says, post up. The Xbox division just signed on 154 million new subscription opportunities.
If Sony wants out, Phil isn't worried. Just like Minecraft growing from 2.4 to 20 plus billion. I understand that. And it's more than 154 million new subscribers. It's way more than that. You know, Microsoft is going to draw from Activision entire pool, including Candy Crush and all that. So I understand what you're saying. Others Inc. In the needs and wants and stuff like that is two different things. But I'm saying from a business perspective, if you just spent $70 billion, you're actually spending more than $70 billion, right? Because the money you're spent on regulators, lawyers, lobbying to get to this point, just to get the deal, you spending millions now. Them lawyers are eating right now, right? Them lawyers are eating right now. Okay? Them lawyers are eating right now. Microsoft is spending millions now, right? So you can add that on to what the millions that they spending now trying to get this deal passed. You can add that on to the 68 to the 69 billion. So you finna spend all this money on to purchase Activision Blizzard, then you finna spend millions and millions more trying to get the deal done. You got to understand, they've been doing this for over a year, right? Damn near over a year. They've been doing this for over a year, right? They've been spending bread, bro. Them lawyers, they got some of the top lawyers in the world. Them lawyers ain't cheap. So that adds on to what they're that adds on to the price. And you mean to tell me they finna spend 70, 75, 72, 73, 74, 75 billion only to turn around and pull card from PlayStation? And then have to write off those losses? I understand what you're saying, Others Inc. But man, Others Inc. 12 billion of that 68.7 billion is literally Others Inc. All of it is cash. All of it. The 68.7 billion is all cash. All right, so I'm gonna go back here. Others think it's just passionate, y'all. Y'all forgive. Right. Then Microsoft comes out and say it welcomes CMA's decision to fix its financial model. We appreciate the CMA's rigorous and thorough evaluation of the evidence and welcome its updated provisional findings, says Arima Alayla, Corporate Vice President and Deputy General Counsel for Microsoft. In a statement to The Verge, this deal will provide more players with more choice in how they play Call of Duty and their favorite games. We look forward to working with the CMA to resolve any outstanding concerns. Okay? All right? Others think, yeah, it's all cash. What are you saying? What's up? What you got there? Postal paternity fees are always a factor in at Microsoft. There's a regular fund. I'm just saying they spending bread, bro. They spending, when you round all that up, they spending over 70 billion, right? Then they coming out their pocket spending millions and millions. I know they probably got an attorney's fund and all that or whatever. I'm just saying, man, they spending bread right now, bro. They gonna spend way more when it all comes out. When it all comes down to it, they're gonna spend way more than that 68.7 billion. All I'm saying is that do you expect them to spend that much money and then turn around and pull the game from the largest fan base, right? One of the largest, if not the largest fan base for that game, and lose billions and have to write that? Nah, man, what's his name? Will get Phil Spencer up out of there. That's why Microsoft say, yeah, we're gonna give you your time in order for y'all to create y'all own Call of Duty. Right? And I think this was a pivotal. Moment for Microsoft because they don't have to have to worry about Call of Duty in the console space, and they have full range and authority in their space to do what they want to do. And I think it's the regulators are saying, look, if you wanna, since you have submitted new data for us, right? And we calculated that data properly, and we know how much money you'll lose over a 5 year over a 5 year time, over a 5 year stretch. We don't think you're stupid enough to do it. So we don't think there's a lessening of competition because we don't think you're willing to take that much of a loss. So we know you'll keep it because based on the numbers we know that you'll lose, we know you got to keep that thing on PlayStation. And ain't nothing wrong with that. Keep it on PlayStation 5, 10 years. Get back whatever, make whatever you can make off that ecosystem, and then going into the next generation, choose what you're gonna do. Me personally, I think Call of Duty should be treated like Minecraft. It should be everywhere on every platform, right? And I think anything outside of Call of Duty should be exclusive to Xbox. Any new IP that's made by these studios, because Phil Spencer did come out and say that Call of Duty, that he wants to take Call of Duty to a 2-year stretch, give it a 2-year development cycle instead of developed every year. He also said he wanted to give the studios the freedom to create and do what they want to do, right? So treat Call of Duty like Minecraft. Make it accessible across multiple platforms and streaming services, right? Right. Let that be your juggernaut. Let that be your new Minecraft. And then anything outside of that Activision creates, any new IP, even any reimagining of old IPs or anything like that, make that content exclusive and day and date in Game Pass, but give COD to the world, right? Because it's a breadwinner, right? It doesn't need to be exclusive to Xbox. It really doesn't. Okay. Well, Harry, you know what? I'm gonna get into that. Let me move. Let me keep moving. That's that. All right, this is what started it right here, right? Right here, it says, seems like a competitor pointing out that the CMA's mistake regarding LTVs, but in correcting the mistake and trying to use it to prove foreclosure, the CMA, along with the new data provided by Microsoft, seen through the through the BS. So I think this was Sony, right? This was Sony. Let me see. Top shot, Microsoft FPS shooter cadence is going to be crazy from COD, Doom, Halo, Wolfenstein, Overwatch, Quake, and Infinity Ward, new Destiny-like game. Yes. I'm telling you, Top. They don't see it, bro. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. Only if people can, step back and look at this thing with some logic. Microsoft is in a position to have an incredible path, right? Incredible path. You're talking about you pretty much have the FPS market and the Western RPG market pretty much in a headlock, right? Even though there's other first-person shooter games out there and things like that, but you have probably the number one first-person shooter game probably out there on the market in terms of console. I don't want to include PC in there because I know it's different shooters on there, and I know CS:GO is very, very, very popular. But Top. Just think about that: COD, Doom, Halo, Wolfenstein, Overwatch, Quake, and Infinity War, all under one roof. So that dream of or so that original idea that Microsoft had of being able to drop a AAA game each quarter could be possible while having single double A and third party games in between. Man, they're about to do if they do it right, they're about to do some amazing things. Right. So what the deal was is that CMA calculated the things wrong. They took like 5 years worth of different data and tried to calculate it within 1 year. Microsoft said no, you got to do it over a 5-year span, and then use this new data. And then once they did that, they came to find out that hey, over a 5-year term, if Microsoft was to take Call of Duty off PlayStation, they will lose billions and billions of dollars, right? Sony tried to take that same formula to prove to the CMA why it will foreclose on them, but they didn't include free to play. They didn't include in-app purchases and DLC and all that stuff. And the CMA saw through that. And once they was able to see through that, they say, oh, okay. Yeah, stop bullshitting us. So we here. So shout out to the CMA because I've been hard on the CMA since this started. I always said, they was kind of in bed with Sony, and I really felt really strong about that because if you go back and look at the first phase 1 findings, they pretty much just copied and pasted what Sony told Brazil. It was just a pretty much copy and paste of that. And then they came back and reiterated some of those same stances in phase 2. And that kind of really got everybody. But this 180 they did with this one particular finding is crazy. Yeah, Jim. And the thing about it was that people was betting on the CMA actually being the one to block the deal because how aggressive they was and how they tone was. They literally came out the gate looking like, look, we listened to Sony, we took that side. We don't want to hear anything else. Yeah. It really, really felt like that. And I think at a point, even Microsoft really felt like that. We believe Sony. We took their side. There's nothing else to discuss. Let me see here. Okay. So let me see. All right, so we got all that. All right, so we're gonna move along because I know it's about to be 10 o'clock. Let me see here. So we're gonna move up. This just yeah, that was a massive. Shout out to J Rock, man. J Rock funny. Let's see here. That's my anime stuff. Luca was saying she can't. Luca, right? I can't wait for this Activision Blizzard deal to be done so I can be free of Twitter space, timeline dissertations, and 2-hour podcasts devoted to this conversation. I say it really just begun. I was telling Luke it won't be done even after it's over. The aftermath and the fallout of this deal when it's done and over with is going to be immense, man. It's going to be incredible. and I kind of pointed this out, and somebody posted the video in here. Let me see if I can find it in here. Here you go. This was in 2018.
Themselves. And let's talk about our games themselves. We are committed to building an industry-leading first-party studios organization. Our games themselves.
Listen to this.
We are committed to building an industry-leading first-party studios organization. And as you saw earlier, we are making one of our greatest single-year investments in teams by adding 5 new creative studios.
So he told y'all back in 2018 that they was committed to building an industry leading first party studio. No one believed him, right? No one believed him. When Nadella came out and said Microsoft is behind gaming, it was a wrap from there. It was a wrap, because that means that from the board members down, the whole of Microsoft was behind gaming. And you know what they said after they brought Bethesda? Nope, nobody believed them, Jeremy. Nobody believed them. And you know what the board of Microsoft said after they brought Bethesda? Who's next? You just spent $8 billion, right? The Bethesda acquisition goes through, and the Microsoft board says, who's next? Then they turn around and spend $68.7 billion in cash to get Activision Blizzard. And why? Because Activision Blizzard is the biggest mobile company outside of China. It is the biggest, right? It is the biggest, right? But why do Activision want to be brought by Microsoft? Well, Activision is going to need Microsoft. It's going to need their infrastructure. It's going to need their talent, and it's going to need their resources in order to compete with China and Tencent. Activision won't go be able to do it alone. Yeah, I think, and I want to talk about that. So let me go up here. Right? Let's go up to the news of the day. I'm going to skip a lot of this. I'm going to go straight to the news of the day. Okay. We know the EU, and this is moving fast. Before I go up, the European Commission started the market test for the remedy proposed by Microsoft last week. This is moving fast now. It's no longer slow poking. It is moving fast now, right? They already started the market test, meaning that they already sent the remedies that Microsoft offered to the European Commission. They already sent them out to third parties, meaning Sony, Nvidia, or anybody else that is either for or against the deal. They already sent the remedies that Microsoft submitted to the European Commission out to them. The market test is going to be them looking over those remedies to see if they are sufficient, right? And then after that, they can give their feedback. But this is moving fast, and I think the European Commission and the CMA probably announced their decision way before their deadline dates. I don't see the European Commission going to May 22nd, right? And the CMA probably doesn't go to April 26th. I think the decisions and the deadlines are going to come super early. But I want to get up to this. Where is it? Which is the new stuff here? That's Sarah Bond teasing. I think that's Lord of the Rings. I don't know if they have something to do with the game or she's using to as an expression of something or not. But it might be more to this than we know. I'll talk about the 11 members of Congress on another day. Let's see here. Where we at? Here we go, right here. Right. Japan has approved Microsoft acquisition of Activision Blizzard. Japan Fair Trade Commission, Microsoft Activision Blizzard deal doesn't limit competition, meaning Japan approved this without any concessions. No restrictions. Okay. No restrictions at all. But what I want to say about that is this. Hold on. And look how fast they did it, right? The phase 1 review process began March 10th. And it got cleared on March 28th. It didn't even have to go to phase 2. And I guess that was due to the pressure that lawmakers from the United States are putting on the Fair Trade Commission in Japan to look into Sony's anti-competitive tactics, right? Because the United States and Japan right now is negotiating a trade agreement, and so that probably has something. More than likely, it has something to do with them approving it so fast. Let's see here. Where is it? Let me see here. This right here, right? So what I want to say is that, right, Japan agreed to the deal, right? No concessions, right? And it said, let me see here. Oh, it ain't this. Let me go up. Where is the Iblex? Where? Here we go, right here. Right, here we go, right here. So MLEX has a few extra bits about the approval in Japan. They say looking at the, let me drink some water real quick. I'm parched. They say looking at the rapidly changing markets, including cloud gaming and subscriptions, was the difficult and time-consuming aspect of the deal. Japan was the geographical market except for Windows, where the market was defined as global. Okay. So they kept it within Japan, right? So they kept, but with Windows, they defined the market as a global market. But with this particular deal, they is confining it to the Japan market itself, right? And they say the deal wouldn't harm competition in the Japanese market, largely because Xbox isn't as popular as in the US and Europe, and Call of Duty has many rivals in games in Japan. Also found out today that I think last year and a couple of years ago, for the last couple of years, Square Enix published Call of Duty. Who is it? Was there somebody knocking on the door? Okay, don't worry about it. All right. So what they said is that the deal wouldn't harm competition in the Japanese market, largely because Xbox isn't as popular as in the US and Europe, and Call of Duty has many rival games in Japan. I found out that at one point Square Enix was publishing Call of Duty in Japan and not Activision. And I also found out at one point Sony was publishing Call of Duty in Japan, right? Then we also find out that the reason why Call of Duty wasn't on Game Pass is because of Sony. Sony was preventing Activision from putting Call of Duty on Game Pass, which is what the congressmen from the United States, 11 congressmen, are calling to action in terms of pushing the Japanese Fair Trade Commission to investigate that anti-competitiveness, because the The trade agreement that they're working on, it consists in the digital space. So if Sony been paying to keep games and even Japanese games off Xbox, that goes against the trade agreement. So it's really deep. And then I also found out today that recently that it's the first time that Activision now publishes Call of Duty in Japan. But what I want to get to is I'm gonna finish this up. The JFTC exchanged information with competition regulators in the UK, EU, South Korea, Australia, and the US. The JFTC received opposition and support for the deal, but declined to comment on specific dialogue with Sony, who was the most vocal opponent of this deal. The reason why this is important, because this sets precedents. We've known that Microsoft wanted to purchase a Japanese publisher, right? We've known that, right? Right? If we're not, we're gonna check this out. Let me go here. Let me go down here. Where is it? Where is it? My notifications been going crazy, but in these notifications, where is it? Bear with me, because I know there is in here somewhere, and I forgot I even made that tweet. But the reason why this is important is because how the Japanese Fair Trade Commission view the market in terms of Xbox could make it easier for them to purchase a publisher or a developer from Japan. But in this case, I'm talking a publisher. And I think this is going to open up the door for that, because now they know in terms of market share in Japan and things like that, that Microsoft really is not competing in Japan due to their low market share and not being popular in Japan. So it should make it easier for them to purchase a publisher. Some people saying Sega, some people saying Capcom, some people saying Konami. Some want them to buy Square Enix. You know, I think if Microsoft going to purchase someone, it'll be Sega, because before they made the Xbox, they was initially pondering whether to create the Xbox or just buy Sega. But they chose not to purchase Sega. We know they failed. Nintendo left them out of the room when they tried to purchase Nintendo. What was it? I remember it became when I was a young player back in the day, 70 and 80, how times fly. Yeah, and we're going to talk about the dirty stuff that Sony been doing, man. We're going to talk about that too, because y'all remember Sony came out and said that that the 3-year deal that Microsoft had offered was inadequate, right? They say the deal was inadequate, right? And that it pretty much that it wasn't enough, right? You say that, but then you turn around, you say that, and then you turn around and say, I really don't care about the Call of Duty agreement. I just want to block your deal. Well, why are you crying to regulators, telling them that the deal we offer you is inadequate, that it's pretty much not enough or sufficient, right? And then turn around and say, well, I really don't care about the agreement anyway. I just want to block the deal. It's crazy. It's crazy. And it just shows you the tactics that Sony will stoop to anything to try to block this deal. Where is it? Oh man, I'm just scrolling, y'all. Man, I'm trying to find this one tweet. I got so many notifications. I know it's down here. If I could find it, man. I love to see Sony faces if Microsoft buys Sega. Look, Microsoft said they're not done, and I believe them too, because Game Pass has to be a machine. If it's going to have that Amazon Prime model, I know people like saying the Netflix model, but it's not. It's the Amazon Prime. It's the Prime Video model, because Netflix allow you to rent subscribe to their service and give you access to all their content. But they don't allow you to purchase anything, right? Amazon Prime allows you to access their service for 1 monthly for Amazon Prime for a payment, right? You get access to all their videos. Then also they give you the ability to purchase and download whatever you're watching. So Xbox Game Pass is more akin to Amazon Prime than it is Netflix. I'm trying to find this video, y'all. My bad. I've been out all day. My voice getting crunchy. Yeah, I mean, look, this man, this deal is going to have so many far-reaching implications on the industry, right? Because you got to think about it like this, right? Microsoft is acquiring Activision Blizzard, right? For 6 years, for pretty much one of the biggest deals in gaming and tech history, right? Right. You got to look at the impact of that, right? Sony is going against it, right? And what Sony do backfire on them in terms of jeopardizing future acquisitions that they want to make, right? And then what about other companies, right? That may do an acquisition that's not 70 billion, that's 20 or 25 billion or less than that. And it gets blocked. And they say, look, well, Microsoft just spent $70 billion and y'all didn't have no problem. You mean to tell me we can't buy this company for 20, 25 billion? Shout out to Post No and Mello. Keep going strong, Post. You're 3 hours in. Yeah. I'm about to get ready and chop it out. I was trying to find that tweet of what's the name? I put a tweet out, and it was about Microsoft purchasing looking to who was already looking to purchase a Japanese publisher. And I'm trying to find it. And I got so many. I don't think I'm because I'm still that's yeah. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna find it. But I think the decision that the Japan Fair Trade Commission made today, I think that opened up the door for Microsoft to purchase a Japanese publisher in the future. I don't think they do it within the next year or two. I think they allow Activision to get situated and transition and get everything in place in terms of the studios, what's going to be asked of them, and how things are going to be implemented. And then once that happens, I can see them going after a Japanese public because they got everything else. You want first-person shooters? We got it. You want Western RPGs? We got it. You want small, eclectic titles like Hi-Fi Rush and stuff like that? We got it. We got it. One-stop shop, And only the next thing that they'll need to fill that hole is a Japanese publisher. And everybody wanted to be Sega, Who knows? Top shotter with the $5. It's easier for Microsoft to buy publishers when it's a two-man race. They tricked Sony to exclude Nintendo from the gaming market, which make it bigger. Yep. Once Sony convinced the regulators that Nintendo did not consist of their market, once they got them to separate Nintendo from the high-end market, I think that was very clever of them. I think it was very stupid. Because once you exclude Nintendo, now it's Microsoft and Sony in a one-on-one. And so those numbers change, right? So now Sony is looking like the monster, basically, right? The monster, like just eating up all type of market share. But those same numbers wouldn't persist if Nintendo was included. It would have diminished. It would have diminished a lot of Sony numbers. And the market share probably wouldn't have looked as bogus as it did without them. But that was a clever move, Top Shotter. And I think Microsoft welcomed that. And no matter what Microsoft did to try to explain their situation and get them to include Nintendo, the regulators weren't having it, right? The regulators weren't having it. So Sony had got out ahead in terms of their lobbying and kind of setting the tone for what was to take place in terms of the merger and acquisition. But shit, I don't even think it worked. I don't think it worked. I think it backfired on them. I really did. I think it backfired on them because now Sony is in a position. Where they didn't open up a can of worms. Now eyes are watching. Now the eyes are watching. Now they want to. I will tell you this: after this acquisition is over, right? After this acquisition is completed, right? Regulators will no longer be oblivious and uneducated about this market. They will keep an eye. They're going to keep an eye on this market. They're going to make sure they know the ins and outs and understanding of this market. Because if another future acquisition go down in the future, believe me, the regulators will not need someone to sit down with them and educate them about how the gaming market works. So one is going to be regulated more. And I don't know if that's going to be a good or a bad thing. Two, you're going to have more eyes on this market. Now, let me see. If Sony didn't think ahead with that move, nah, Harry, nah. Snooki say, post up, we waiting 20 years. We waited 20 years for this day, my brother. Let us enjoy this day. Let these ponies cry. Let them cry, bro. Let them cry. These brothers been all on Twitter, linking the CMA, tagging the FTC, tagging Lena Khan, tagging Joe Biden, Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, and every tweet said stop the deal, shut down the deal. You got people making songs called Block the Deal and all this shit. And look where we at. And look where we at. But I will say this. I do think that that this ordeal, this situation with the Activision Blizzard is going to open up the door for Microsoft to make a purchase in Japan without any issue. I do think that's going to happen. Microsoft has a to spend a certain amount. Yeah, Trey. Microsoft sitting on a lot of cash. I think it was 100 and some billion, if I'm not mistaken. And the longer you hold on to that money like that, yeah, at some point you got to start paying taxes on that money. So you can't. Microsoft don't want that money to sit for too long, and so they will start spending it. The board will start spending it because they're not going to want to pay the taxes on that money. So, yeah. So this is what we're gonna do, man. Because I've been out all day with my children, man. And I'm a bit tired. I'm a bit tired right now. And I wanted to really dig into this, but man, I'm blabbering and I don't know. I'm just tired. And what I'll do is tomorrow I got to do something in the morning. If all goes well and I'm back by the afternoon, I'll come in and really give y'all a stream where I can really dig in and focus. Right now, I'm just all over the place. My voice sounds crunchy as hell. I'm just tired, man. And I'm scrolling through these notifications. I'm just scrolling up talking, man. Trying to keep my eyes open. I'm tired, man. I've been out with my sons all day, man. I took my sons to a steakhouse, right? To sit down and just chill with them and talk to them and stuff like that. And so we walk in and the menu right there on the screen on the wall. And I say, just order what y'all want. It's a lot of stuff up there, right? And they turn around and ordered. My oldest son ordered a cheeseburger, and my youngest son ordered some freaking chicken. I say, what are you doing? I say, that stuff you can eat at home. You got lobsters right there. You got shrimp. You got steak. You got all this stuff on the menu. He ordered a simple ass cheeseburger, and my son ordered some fried chicken. Yeah, let me stop this because I'm just okay. Let me answer a few questions. Let's see. Now last 210 posted. What are the chances now of the deal going through? I'm at an 80% chance that this deal goes through. 80% chance. Trey Bone said he's been 100% day one. I don't blame him. I'm at 80, 85%. I'm just creating room for any mishaps. Any mishaps or anything like that. But I think it's going to go through. I always thought it was from day one that it was going to pass. And that it was no reason that it should be blocked. But we'll see. So far, so good. Everything is rolling along. And we'll see what happens. But I'm not cognizant right now, y'all. I'm just blabbering. And I wanted to say some things. I forgot what I was gonna say and everything. I'm just tired. Y'all can hear my crunchy ass voice. I'm tired, so we'll reconvene tomorrow. Let me see here. Yeah, we'll reconvene tomorrow, and I'll be where I got some rest, and I can fully be cognizant and talk about this, and not just be blabbering and sounding like I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, because that's what I sound like, at least to me. And so, that's what we're gonna do, man. I didn't know. I thought I was gonna have the energy to kind of push through, but I'm just tired right now. So we're gonna leave it here. Give me just a second. See if I can. Where is it? Let me see here. I was seeing this shit all day, and now I can't see it no more. All right, child. Let me go ahead and get up out of here, man. Thank y'all for coming through. Thank y'all for supporting the show. I just want to really do something today because I know we missed Saturday, and then we was off all last week due to me moving and being sick. I'm still a little congested. I know y'all can hear it, but I just want to thank y'all, man, for supporting the platform and showing up and us having these conversations and stuff like that. I really appreciate y'all. Tomorrow morning when I go take care of this business, if I get back by the afternoon and everything's smooth, I'm going to go live again. And then we're going to really sit down and break this shit down where I can have the energy to do it. Like I said, prayers up for my brother, for J-Dub and his family right now, man. They're dealing with some things like that. I know he get on people's nerves with his trolling and his PlayStation and stuff like that. But outside of this console space and all that shit, bro is a really, really, really cool dude, man. He's a really cool dude. And I think a lot of people on Twitter and the internet don't get to see that side of him. They always see him trolling and talking PlayStation and talking down. But that's not just him. That's just a persona he plays on Twitter to get on the nerves of Xbox people. But he's really a cool dude, and him and his family is going through some things right now. So make sure y'all send love and prayer, whether you like to do it or not. Just send love and prayers his way, man, because he really did it. But I'm gonna get up out of here. Finna go lay down and blow my nose and hopefully get the rest of this cold out of my chest. And we'll reconvene tomorrow, man. Thank y'all, man. Yeah, who was that real nonstop talent? Oh man, I'm seeing a lot of shout out to all the new people in the chat. King Middleton. Post, when you tired, you sound like that guy that was about to cry. Oh, okay. That's how you feel, King. Yes. You both. You said about the cry, bro. You said about the cry on the mic, bro. Hey, boss, Carlos, man. Nah, bro. Don't. Yeah. Y'all. That's disrespectful, bro. That's disrespectful. Sometimes you gotta sit that game and shit aside, bro. Sometimes sit that game shit aside when real life issues come into play. And like I said, y'all, some of y'all only know him as the troll on Twitter. But outside of that, he's a really cool dude, man. He's a really good dude. It really will do anything for anybody if it's in his reach and if he's capable of doing it. He will do it. I done seen him do so much for so many people that y'all don't even hear about. He never talk about it. And it's not only in the PlayStation community. He done a lot for people in the Xbox community. A lot. Shout out to my my bro, rest in peace to Cal. I don't know if y'all know Cal, who passed away. But we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Just if you'd like to, send your prayers and wishes his way, man. That's all. But I'm gonna get up on out of here, man. Y'all have a good night. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And y'all be good, all right? Let me see here. What are we gonna do? We're gonna do
Ted, pop your shit.
Man over madness, grind over habit. We never had it. Check off the box on the bag list. Now we established from the block to the palace. Usage and salvage. Now we about it. Traveling thousand. Rich or poor, we breaking the balance. Wanted change, still at the ballot. Didn't get a thing, so I still with my talent. Up in the clouds, collecting the mileage. Soon we hit land, we up at the challenge. Dodging anything that's bringing us malice. Got hit in the cup, can't sip from that challenge. Trying to see life from a different view. Checking all sides, my peripheral. We up now, that's the pinnacle. The inner you. Eyes stuck on the inner tube. Perception got them in V2. They all gas like an inner tube. Took a small break, just an interlude. Now we in the groove. Took a couple losses, we was 10-2. Before the turn, it was 10-2. Got it hand over hand like we 10-2. Cause when you down and out, they don't tend to you. Still we made it. From the land where they take that, they don't play fair. Lost a lot of niggas, fell off with niggas, I don't really care. Hell with them now, whether tried to fail with them now. So we out here until we out of here, looking up now, past the stratosphere.
Came a long way, I was eating cereal, sell as fuck. Couple OT shields back to back, that was 12 a month. Seeing pain often got me asking, nigga, what the hell you want? Rather pay up front before I pay up front. You can say I didn't, never say I won't. Fast forward, that's crash course. I was broke, unattached headboard. Used to laugh at me, life was comical. We up now, astronomical. Our lowest points was a plateau. Blessed after being back dope. We was on the business and it went sour. We still made it, that's a different power. Gotta watch your 6 when they on your 20. Every day I smile through the horribles. Oracles telling me I got a few minutes. It was a quarter to vulnerable visions. I'm making it out of it. Portable audibles. Pardon me, possibly. Circle with smallest apostrophes. Making monopolies out of these lyrics. Commodities, obviously. Welcome to the deli. Felonies he called allegedly. Fuel for the fire, especially. It was the recipe. Open sesame. All this pain never overstressing me. God did. He was over testing me. Get a lesson, never get a lesson me. Back to business cause he over blessing me. That's the turn, nigga. It's my turn, nigga. It's our turn.